Yeah, bros. We are
Tony,
live.
you're not live.
Yes, we are live.
We all live?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
positive. It's just your dial-up that's not working tonight.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Okay. I still say schedule. Okay. What a
Yeah,
mess.
bros, we are live. It is Thursday night reality check with the bros. Tonight is the Bro Network. If you don't know what it is, we're going to explain it right here tonight. The Bro Network. First, I want to introduce the panel. We'll start with Broster Finn. Broster Finn, how you doing tonight?
Salud. I'm doing
Salud.
very well. Thank you for having me.
Good. And just so you know, I'm your host tonight, Brony Bruno. So, and then we go to Primal Broman. Primal Broman, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? My screen still says scheduled. It doesn't say live. So for a second, I thought we wasn't live. So
Well, it might be the dial-up. I'm not sure.
yeah, it's the Walmart dial-up. But I'm doing well. All is well. I'm gonna light up a tattoo black.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Very nice. And then we got Professor Gonzo. Gonzo, how you doing?
Tony, I just realized I think people are probably going to mistake you for somebody that watches My Little Pony.
Brony Bruno.
So
yeah,
it's going to happen.
This is going to be a fun stream because it's all about bros tonight, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And let me look at the comments and see who's here. Okay, let's say hi to we got Uncle Guns. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Dark Blade, good to see you. Vivian, Black Pill Crusader, good to see you. We have Broducis. Nice to see you, man. Nomad John, good to see you. I saw you on Primal Stream, I think, on Monday.
What up, Guns and John? Good to have you.
JP Hives, good to see you guys. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Bro Network tonight. And the Bro Network might not be what you think it is. And I'll explain it to you. What the Bro Network is your buddies, your confidants, your friends, okay? And they can be acquaintances in your Bro Network. Now, the Bro Network is real. It's real important to guys. And what it is, it's the people you can reach out to. So in your Bro Network, there's certain people I think are going to be real important to have. And that's one, we're going to start with a doctor. You want to have a doctor in your Bro Network. And when I say a doctor, not a doctor that you call the office, a doctor that's in your phone. This is where the Bro Network is. It's in your phone. It's handy. It's readily available. Real important to have. Doctors, lawyers, dentists, your mechanic. It can be a plumber, electrician, carpenter like me. But the Bro Network has to work in sync. Okay? So, and when I say that is that it's not a one-sided thing. So when you reach out to somebody, okay, and it's not for any little thing, but the reciprocation is real important in the Bro Network. Let's start with Mr. Finn.
Yo.
We were talking backstage. You have a Bro Network.
Dude,
I explained it to you before I even before you knew what it was, and you had a Bro Network. So
man, you mentioned doctor, and I pull up my phone right here, right? And I got a whole list of doctors right here where I live. I mean, I got a urologist, dermatologist. I got 3 eye doctors who are owners of their own eye clinic hospital. I got a orthopedic doctor who's also a doctor in Regenics and longevity. I got a top ear, nose, and throat doctor who's also created his own technique of removing intracranial tumors through the nose. He studied the Egyptian mummifications, and he developed a way to remove tumors from the nasal cavity. I mean, I got a stomach kind of abdomen surgeon doctor. So if I need a doctor, I got a whole list here on my phone, the personal numbers, plus the owner of the top hospital in the region of where I live in the northeast of Brazil. So if I even need to go to a hospital, I could go to the best one and he could give me a room. So I tell you what, I'm leaving soon. And this is going to be probably one of the hardest things, losing all these contacts I have, because that's just doctors. I'm not even talking about police, federal police, military police. I'm not talking about federal government buildings or lawyers or judges. I got contacts. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think with the doctor, we talked about this backstage, the doctor, the best time to have that Bro Network doctor.
Weekends.
Holidays.
Yeah,
holidays, weekends. I know I pulled a
nights.
bad back muscle last year, and pretty bad, and really, really just tore up the side. And I called him on a Sunday, told him what was wrong. You know, he wrote a prescription for me. Done. You know, no office visit, but that's the bro network.
Yep.
Same thing with a good friend of mine is a dentist, which is awesome. So anytime there's an issue, chipped my tooth surfing about a year ago. Okay, you know, dentists don't work on Friday. Came in on Friday, fixed me up, did a little Zoom whitening on me, and fixed up the teeth. And the bill was awesome because there was no charge. That's the bill.
I've got a friend of mine who's a student, but he's an owner of you could say a mini dental franchise here. He's got four clinics or 5 clinics in the region, and I've had work done, and every time I offer to pay, he's like, no, it's cool. Thanks, bro.
Yep, yeah, we got a bro fest, RM, for sure. That's tonight.
But it's, you know what's funny? The thing is, as you mentioned, it's not one-sided. You know, they're friends. They're my bros. And so we talk, you know, some are my students, some are former students, and we hit each other up, but they're there if I need them, and vice versa. You know, they've called me when they needed something translated or any kind of help. They're going to do a presentation, or because they're doctors. I don't know if a lot of people realize doctors, especially those who have, besides a medical degree, they have PhDs. I have a couple on my list here are endocrinologists. If you have a PhD, you have to write articles in journals every year to maintain your PhD. So oftentimes they'll ask me to look at their work, and of course, no problem. You know, scratch my back, I scratch yours. You know, one good turn deserves another.
Yeah, and that's the big thing about the bro network is you can't take advantage of it. That's
No way.
Sure. But the give back is so important. It's so important. It really is. If somebody calls you and needs you, don't blow them off.
It's the honor
because
system.
then you're gone from the bro network.
Don't bro them off.
Yeah, yeah. It's being in the program. You have the program. Yeah. So
well, I think that's the definition of a friend, right? A friend is not just there when everything's good, right? Like we call a fair weather friend.
Mm-hmm.
A friend is there when you need them in those moments, tough times.
Yeah. Let's go to Primal Broman. How about your bro network?
When I think of bro network, the first thing that comes to mind right now is who can I call for some fresh ribeyes? Where's all the cattle farmers out there? We're gonna need y'all soon. We need y'all. We need y'all right now. We need the cattle farmers. So my number one guy in the bro network is a cattle farmer.
I got one, but he's in Portugal. Doesn't do any good for us.
How about Professor Gonzo?
My bro network is basically non-existent. I'm starting at rock bottom with the bro network. I don't know any doctors or the like, but it's interesting. I think it's necessary at some point. It's going to be necessary in hard times, that's for sure.
Well, I think it's the older you get too. You're a bit young yet, so your bro network is just starting. Yeah. It really is. The more people you meet, the more people become part of the bro network. And I am going to real quick because Dark Blade just triggered me because there is one word when it comes to bros that I do not like. And I'm going to put it up there right now. And it's funny because it's on my list. Okay. I actually have this word, and after it, I have bromance. There is no such thing as a bromance. Okay.
But Tony,
I have it written right here. It says bromance. What the?
But Tony, you're Italian. You're breaking the rules.
You're breaking the rules. Yep. No bromance. So we do not have, as bros, we do not have bromances. And I think that woman, that word will usually come from a woman. Have you guys ever noticed that? If the guys are going somewhere, they'll say, "Oh, look at you guys are having a bromance," and the dudes will look and what? Get the hell out of here. So that's one word we will no longer use on this channel ever again. That's bromance. So have any of you guys had a bromance?
Just bros.
Just bros. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, Dark Blade. I'm going to time you out for using that. Just kidding. Just kidding. So
What the?
So in your bro network, I mean, I think a lot of us think that a doctor would probably be one of the most important. Also, one of the most important in your bro network is going to be a mechanic. If you have a car and you have a bro mechanic, what a beautiful thing, you know. I have a bro mechanic. He's awesome. Love him. Fixed my air conditioner about a month ago, you know. And the bro network always seems to work in cash, which is fantastic.
Or favors.
Or favors, yeah. But there's also things that, like in the bro network, you gotta know that people are in business. You know what I mean? People are in business, so you don't want to take advantage of that, because if it's somebody's livelihood, like myself, like I could be a bro to everybody. I could go to work every day and make no money at all because of what I do, because I'm a craftsman, I remodel, I can fix anything. So I can be taken advantage of in the bro network, but nobody does take advantage of me. Will I give somebody the bro discount? Absolutely. Absolutely. You get the bro discount. And a lot of times it's the big bro discount. So, yeah. So let's talk. Go ahead, DeGonzo.
I was just going to say, you don't want to do too many bro jobs.
Yeah. Bro favors.
Bro favors. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
You don't want to do them.
No bromo.
Yeah. Did you say pro bromo?
No bromo.
That's good. That's a good one.
Instead of pro bono, po bromo. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I think we'll be using the word bro a lot tonight. So, in fact, Michael Foster, I think I sent you the link. So, bro, if you want to jump on, you're welcome.
Dude, he's killing it in the chat, man.
Is he?
Oh my God, I'm busting at the seams with the quotes.
Bro Foster. He needs his name to be Bro Foster.
Oh my gosh.
Well, let's talk about who you don't want in your bro network. Who don't you want?
A fake bro.
AOC.
Fake bro. I've got fake bros here. So.
Did you say AOC?
AOC, yeah. I don't know.
Well,
maybe you want some politicians in your bro network, but
yeah, nothing against the women, but women
What
are
about
not in the bro network.
What about bros who think they're politicians?
And who would that be? Give us an
I got a bro who thinks he's a politician because he deals with like a certain line of government work, so he thinks he's a politician.
Custodian.
Oh, here's a great one. What is a bromosexual?
Is he a broser? Like a
yeah, I think
broser.
Well, a bromosexual is probably having a bromance.
This is a good brobin. Brobin. It's a nice brobin.
Oh, you're drinking brobin tonight. Excellent. Yeah. Nice. Very nice. Yeah. So a fake bro, fake bros, bro leeches. These are the ones we don't want. These are and this is going to be a tough one for a lot of people, but these are the money borrowers.
Yeah.
These are the takers. These are the complainers. I'll give you a bro example. And I had a bro who has asked me to borrow money quite frequently over the past years. Now, this bro, let's say, lives a pretty good life. So when you have boats, cars, motorcycles, and you're wanting to borrow money from somebody, what about you guys? Wouldn't you sell one of those motorcycles? Wouldn't you do something, living the high life and borrowing money from other people? Now, to me, that's not cool.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Borrowing money is a big one. So be careful. I mean, there's times, don't get me wrong. There's times when I've lent money and there's times I've just given money. That's it. You know, this is cool. If you can pay me back, that's great. If you can't. Now, there's been one time I can remember, I'll say in the past 20 years, that I actually borrowed some money from somebody, and it wasn't a small amount of money. I didn't need it. It was offered to me, and I paid it back within, I'm going to say within a month. It was a pretty good chunk. But that was one time I can remember, and I didn't like it. So beware of the people that want to borrow money. Beware. Look at their lifestyle. I think that's the lesson, is look at their lifestyle. See how they're living. Is there something that I think when a lot of people borrow money, what it is they don't want to interrupt their lifestyle, but they'll interrupt yours. I had the analogy made to me when I was asked to borrow money that you've gone on 2 vacations this year. Now, this is a bro telling me this. And here I need to borrow money. So basically what it was saying was I worked hard, went on a couple vacations, so I should cancel my vacations and lend money. What do you guys think of that?
No. Like, I don't mind helping somebody, but like, if it hurts me to help them, really? And, you know, if someone's a friend, sure, you would help them once. But then if, let's say it's money, right? You're talking about money, but then they don't pay it back. It's like, well, I've learned my lesson. Like, it was an expensive lesson.
Yeah.
That guy is not a bro in my book.
Yeah, it's an expensive lesson. You learn.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned this before in a stream, because what he actually said was, and this took me a while to compute, was like, I've asked you to borrow money before and you've turned me down. Can you imagine somebody saying that to you?
What?
I mean, think of what was just said there. I've asked you to borrow money before and you've turned me down.
Sounds like, oh man, that's definitely not a bro.
Really
it might be a sister, but not a bro.
Yeah, playing the victim is not something that suits men very well.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. But yeah, let's go around and on the panel, and so you tell me, who won't you have in the Bro Network? Anybody, go for it.
Well, the funny thing is, like, I'm pretty picky on who I let in my inner circle. Being who I am and what I do as a profession, as an English teacher in Brazil, I kind of see myself a little as a politician. So I treat everybody well. I'm very friendly with everybody, but I'm very guarded in what I reveal or what I say and who I let into my circle. And so those who are allowed or permitted to enter into the realm that I create and the atmosphere that I rule or run, they have to have proven themselves to me in not only word but manner. So I like to pride myself as a person of being pretty observant and a pretty decent judge of character. So, like I said, I'll hang out and talk with and be in the midst of all kinds of people. But I'm reading, I'm sensing, and I'm talking, and I may talk a lot, but it'll be very cryptid, or, I'm not going to give up too much. And then after some time, yeah, if you're cool, or like I said, a lot of the people who I consider bros, like the people on my contact list, many of them are former students who maybe some of them may still study with me, others haven't. But with that time we spent together, we've stayed friends. Others, if they hire me as a teacher, okay, I'll be their teacher, but I get a good sense of who they are. So I never save I recognize their face or I recognize their number, but they're not saved on my phone. So I like to be around like-minded individuals, hardworking people of their word, men of their word. The way I was raised by my father, do as you say as you do. And I'm old-fashioned. A handshake for me is a signed signature. It's a closed deal contract. I stand by my word. I do as I say. I expect you, whoever I'm dealing with or talking to do the same. The minute you don't, fine. I've learned my lesson. Like we said before, if I lend someone money, they don't pay me back, I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to bitch about it. one quick example. As a teacher, people pay me to help them improve better their English. I've had a couple of students before either were very late to pay me or until today, I've had one person who hasn't paid me back yet. It's been over a year. And so I don't, how can I say this? He's not in my circle of bros, but he still reaches out. We say what's up, and twice he's hit me up for classes again, and I said, sure, no problem, as long as you pay me what you owe me. And he disappears for a few weeks. So that's cool. Like, I don't think I have to go after it. Every man should know what they owe. And I'm not your mommy, daddy to tell you to come and pay. So
right.
I've got you tallied on my list. Okay, so you don't want to pay? Fine. All right. I'll remind you once. Hey, it's time to, pay up. And so, like right now, there was a doctor who was a couple days late paying me. He paid me today. Cool, we're good. But there's one guy still who hasn't paid me back over a year. And what's funny? He's not hurting for money. So until he pays me back, he's not getting any service. But I'll be cordial. I'll be political. You know what I mean? It's gotta save face. But he's on the other side of the moat. Does that make sense? Like I got my realm and my barrier. And we'll talk and I'll be cool. But he's got to pay his dues before he can get on the other side of the moat, but still work harder to get through those walls again.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I'll give you guys a quick little story. When I was buying my house, I paid off and just so anybody knows, I was married a long time ago, but I paid off my student loans. I paid off my wife's student loans, anything that we had to pay off before you can get a mortgage, especially your first mortgage. You pretty much got to be debt free. And I was going to be short about $900 for my closing. And I really thought I was going to lose this house. You had to have I think it was 20% down payment or more. I forget what it was. But I'm like, what am I going to do? And I had somebody had asked me, and happened to be a wealthy customer. In fact, I talked to him today. He's been customer and friends for years. He asked me about the house, and I said, well, I'm not going to make the closing. I'm short. That's it. And I mean, every penny. Now, this was about, 27 years ago. So, the money was a lot different back then. $1,000 was a lot more than it is now. So the next day, he wrote me a check. I don't remember what it was for, but it was, I want to say $3 or $4 grand. Basically a housewarming and make the closing. And, I'll never, ever, ever forget that to this day. Never forget it. Never. So that was something that was nice. It was a gift too. So it wasn't something that I had to pay back, but that meant a lot. And I consider him a bro for life, for sure. And over the years, I've taken care of him. Whenever he needs something, I answer the phone, plain and simple. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
So
I want to say something with kind of what Finn was saying. I don't consider my customers bros ever. They might talk like bros. They might say, what's up, bro? I don't consider customers a bro. Now, I got a question for the panel. Can employees be your bro?
Who work under you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crossing a line. It's like, for example, teaching teenagers, for example. I'm friendly, I'm cool, but I drop the hammer when they cross the line, and I make sure they know, look, it's teacher-student relationship. Now, as a private teacher with a lot of my students, I would say out of all my students, less than a third, I would say just a few I would call bros, because they've stopped studying with me and maintained kind of friendship and been there when I needed them and vice versa, and then came back and studied with me. Does that make sense? So it's not like and we're clear about the relationship too. because it's like pooping where you eat. You know what I mean? It's like mixing business and friendship. It can get sketchy. So if I owned a business, for example, so for me, I'm by myself. You know, it's no business. But if I owned a business and had employees, yeah, that wouldn't. I don't think I could see myself like going out with them and hanging out on a bro level, because there's that risk of losing respect. And
I would put it like this. If I'm working with someone and they're my employee, say, and we work on a job together, then I would say bro is off limits. But if I have an employee and I delegate work off to him, basically, let's say, for example, he runs a route for me and we don't work together, I think there can be a bro situation there.
Makes sense.
I just
So
sort
he's
of
not.
wanted to.
Yeah, that makes sense. So he's not literally working directly under you. He's like a proxy. So
Yeah, he's like
running
a branch.
he's like running his own thing. Yeah, so that
Yes.
makes sense. That makes sense, you know.
Well, I've got, I'll consider my guy who works with me, and he is his own independent contractor. But we've been friends for years before he really worked with me, I'll say full time or full part time. But I would consider him a bro for sure. We work like bros, but we've been working together for 25 years. So that's a difference. And I think it's mutual respect. Yeah, I might get mouthy with him. He might get mouthy with me, but I think because we are bros, we don't take it seriously. We never take it home, ever. But, that might be an unusual circumstance. But I get what you mean. But I'll tell you, I'll go back to what Gene was saying about customers being bros. It's funny because maybe it's my personality, but what I've noticed in the business that I do, not all, but some will try to befriend you to get the bro deal.
Sure.
No joke.
Smell that a mile away.
Yeah, right.
The old "I'll take care of you," So I've been down that road. I get it, but when you're in business, I think it's a different thing. You do have to treat people, obviously, if you want to keep business. But yeah, I mean, I do have some customers that I consider bros, but I also know the customers that do kind of suck you into brohood to get the better deal, and then you don't hear from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
to be a bro,
it's like when they need something else, you'll get a text, "Hey, bro."
Yeah, but you know what's funny? You think about this, right? In this, what we're talking about, to be a bro, you gotta, for me, you gotta consider it's a person you would want in your foxhole with you. It's like I said, and what we talked about before, having them on your contact list. It's like in a way building your tribe. They have their life, I have my life. They have their skills, I have my skills. But I'm there if they need me. They're there if I need them. So it's like that kind of mindset where you want them in a foxhole with you. You would trust them in a foxhole with you. And that's not something that comes lightly. I saw John Boston in the chat talking about there in Boston. It's everything. Hey, bro, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? It's like it's thrown around very, very easily. Like the word love. It's thrown around so easily. But if you think about it, there should be some depth to it. As an English teacher, there, semantics and the use of language, it's important. Words have meaning. So, talking about this bro and the bro network, to be called a bro, and for me, it's someone that I would consider to be in my foxhole. Like I can trust you. I know you're there if I need you, and vice versa. Like those who I consider bros, it's clear that they know I'm there. So to me, it goes that deep. It's that important.
What I noticed was too, I got let's just say I got a bad vibe from a guy, Stucco Crew, a bunch of black guys, great guys. I had said one day, and this was a few years ago, I'm like, hey, bro. He's like, who you calling bro? And I'm like, and then I'm like, sorry, brother. And then he's like, who you calling brother? You know, so I'm like, all right, wait now. Okay. Because I think a lot of times the term brother, you know, you've heard that before. You know, he's a brother, which would say he's black, which I don't think is a bad thing. But, you know, I've also in return, he called me cracker. So I'm like, all right.
Now, wait just 1 second, pal.
Now, don't you say that. That's right. So that
now,
was
listen here, pal.
That was listen here, buddy boy.
Now, wait just 1 minute, pal.
So, yeah, I got reamed for calling somebody bro, then calling him brother. So I'm like, all right.
That made it worse.
I said, okay, buddy or pal or something like that. But, yeah, so I think that word, too, it's thrown around. I mean, everybody thinks of like brother. When I hear somebody say brother, and I say that too, what's up, brother? You know, and that'll be brother, you know, with an A. But I think of Hulk Hogan, brother.
Yeah. I
don't think of Hulk Hogan when I hear brother. The
Hulkster, Hulkamania.
Yeah. My brothers. What's up, brother? You know, what did he used to say? Eat your vitamins, you know, and whatever it is. But the old Hulk Hogan was big one on the brother thing.
I remember.
This Monday night, it's me and you, brother.
SmackDown, brother. Yeah, so I think it is a term, you know, the term bro and brothers. Now also in the basically in the surfing community, bro is real big. That's a real big term in the surfing community. Bro, what's up, bro? I mean, that's pretty standard. You know, you're checking the surf. How's it look? How's it look, bro? You know, you're out surfing, you know. You got this one, bro. So it's transcended.
Yeah, but in a way, though, you guys. So you're talking about the surfer community. So in a way, you guys are bros. You guys are surfer bros. You guys have the same kind of. You live in the same realm, you know. I mean, you may not have them in the same foxhole as you, but you guys riffed on the same vibe.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. So that's, you know, the word bro, brother. I mean, I've even used that one, brother. You know. So, yeah. So the whole broology of bro science and brohood has to do with the word bro. And we know it stems from the word brother. You know, but also again, you know, it can be like, you know, if you're in a, you know, we'll say if you're in, we'll say, I don't know, what do I say, the dark part of town or whatever, you know, and you say, hey, brother, or hey, bro, it's probably not a good thing. It's probably not a good thing. So
morning, my neighbors.
Yeah. What'd you say? I said, how you doing, neighbor? That's all.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yep. Yeah. In fact, that's one on my list is neighbors. I've got great neighbors here, and they are on the Bro Network for sure. We are deep in my neighborhood here. We're deep into the Bro Network, and I would say my neighbor next door, neighbor across the street, my buddy on the next street, and a couple others. Definitely the Bro Network, big time. And a lot of the Bro Network is borrowing tools. So between, I don't know, probably, you know, half a dozen of us here, we have every tool known to man. Every ladder, every chainsaw, every table saw, you name it. If you need it, we got it. You know? So
but you know what, Tony? That's really good. That's really good. And how many people can say that? You know, this is something that has me a bit concerned, right? I'm moving back, and I don't like where I'm going, and hopefully I can pick up roots and go somewhere else in the country and establish that, because we've talked about this on other live streams, right? You know, and so many people look nationally, but it's so much more important to look more neighborly, you know, community. And, you know, when poo-poo hits the fan, you want to be able to have good relations with your neighbors. So the fact that you say you got bros as neighbors, that sets you apart. I mean, you're in pretty good shape, I think.
Tony is the simp of all bros. I'm not sure if I'm following you there, Dark Blade. You might want to explain yourself. Bro.
Maybe
Brother. Explain yourself, brother, before you find yourself up on the wrong side of the panel.
That's right. Just because you put LOL after something, that doesn't mean it's okay, bro.
A heart might be acceptable, but not LOL.
How old are you, bro? There.
That's a good one. I forgot about that one.
Wait. Do you know who I am, bro?
How old are you, brother?
Oh man.
I've taken down bigger channels, brother.
Bigger. I'm taking down bigger bros than you, bro.
So let me ask Gonzo and Primal Man about neighbors. How's your bro neighbors?
Well, out here in the
Old.
Old.
Yeah, out here in the underbelly of the heart of Texas, it's no man's land. It's everybody out for themselves, and so I think you have to definitely go out of your way to find a community or find the pre-existing bro networks, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I don't really have next door bros or anything, nearby bros.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it does matter on your living conditions. I don't think sometimes I think neighborhoods, single family homes tend to have more, more bro.
Potential.
What do we call it? Bro technology, And Woody came up with a great one, bra. That's another one. That's another.
Oh, I've heard that here. I've heard that here. Like
that's a great one because I use that too. What's up, bra? And that's more of a surfing. That's really a Hawaiian kind of thing. When I hear bra or brada, what's up, brada? That's more Jamaican because one of my best friends is Jamaican, and he'll call me brada. What's up, brada? That kind of thing. So we got bro, brother, bra, brada.
We got a greeting. We got a greeting here amongst the bros, and it goes like this: "Where you at, brah?
Where you at? Where you at?
Where you at?
Where you at?
I know that.
Where you at?" I just gave away my location, so everybody's gonna dox me.
That's everywhere. Even growing up in SoCal, man. Where you be at? You gotta throw the B in there. Where you be at?
I'm going Avatar, so I don't get doxed.
JP says, "What about Alpha Bros? Are they no bro or go bro?"
I love it.
Alpha Bros, Gym Bros.
Yeah, that's another one. There is a lot. There's bro science, and there is the gym bros. I'll tell you what, Primal. Why don't you give me an example of gym bros?
Oh man, at least you're in the gym 5 days a week, at least, to even be able to be qualified as a gym bro. You got to be working out at least an hour 5 days a week to be considered a gym bro.
Okay, wait. Let me clarify this, and you can agree with me or not. You're in the gym 5 days a week, 3 hours each time, but only working out an hour.
3 hours? Okay. What the hell?
Yeah, because a lot of gym bros, there's a lot of gym bro talking. So your hour workout usually takes about 3 hours.
I don't belong to that group.
Yeah.
I actually think gym bros are a dying breed.
Yeah.
I don't
like they were big.
3 hours.
Yeah, they were big around that Jersey Shore era. What was that, like 09, 08, 07, something like that? They had a lot of gym bros back then. Nowadays, it just seems like a bunch of dads with crispy boys on just trying to get a quick workout.
Programmer. Yeah.
I
wonder if Nomad John, are you a programmer? Wow. Nice.
I love that dog. Reminds me of my dog.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to make a point of too is that your let me see here. I got something here. Okay. Facebook, places like that, that's not your bros on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Not your bros. I don't know who this is, but we're gonna bring him on real quick. Okay, hold tight, hold tight.
Oh no!
Hold the guest
Somebody on.
hostage.
Hold the bro hostage.
This?
Yo,
How's it
what
going,
up,
man?
what up, what up? Primal's you smoking the stogie out there, throwing it back.
What up, man?
Yo, y'all see my profile picture?
Yeah.
That's Patrick sucking Squiggler's cock.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh
That
man,
that was a special bro right there. The troll bros.
Yeah, that was
he was all right.
yeah, we won't go there. Tobacco Man, I don't know who you are, but I don't know. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, you chickened out, and that's all right. So, wow. Troll bros. Bro trolls. So
I
soon?
like trolls.
Super
So
troll
soon.
brothers.
Tobacco Man, show your face backstage. I'll let you on. Not your dick, your face.
Oh,
Maybe it's the same
no.
thing.
Yeah. Well, somebody's trying.
I remember talking about the gym. I remember when I used to have time and I used to go to the gym. I was focused and I didn't have time to mess around. And a couple people used to get pissed at me. Some of the older ladies want to come and talk. I have my headphones on. I was like, okay, I'm busy. I'm not there to chit chat. It's 3 hours at the gym.
Yeah, just so you know, I'll let anybody on tonight as long as you show your face backstage and not your dick. I'll let you on, and that's fine. Anybody I know that has avatars, of course, are welcome on. But that's it. So
It's not a high barrier of entry.
yeah, it's
folks.
not. It's not. Yeah, you must show.
Y'all remember that one time?
Yeah, yeah,
Are you making fun of the fake fin?
Yeah, Flappy Fin.
Yeah,
He came across.
yeah, yeah. That's great. Fake fin.
I mean, I keep hearing about it. I haven't seen it though. I try to look for the right video.
We call him Flappy Fin.
Well, you know what? It kills me because if you're going to really spend that much time just to say that, you really need a bro network, and we'd like to have you here, but I think you need to work on yourself a bit. If it's that big of a deal to talk about a penis, it just kills me, you know. And
It's a classic.
yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the term small dick energy, but if you got that, you got small dick energy, man. That's all I got to say. So, but yeah, let's get back to yeah, there we go. There we go, Woody. No life maxing. No life troll maxing for sure. And that's all right, whatever. The trolls are part of it. That's why I put the StreamYard link in the chat. So, but yeah,
Hold
anybody
the
wants
trolls
to
hostage.
beat Woody or Bro Deuces or anybody, come on.
I'd love to see Foster come on. He was killing it in the chat, man.
No, Mike Foster's going to come on. I sent him the link earlier, so he'll kill it. But yeah, let's go back to Facebook. So Facebook, places like that. I tend to find a big difference between Facebook and Instagram. I don't know if you guys agree.
Well, I haven't been on. I mean, I'm on Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like I have it, but I never really use it. I'm more on Instagram myself.
Yeah. Instagram, I think, is more realistic. I mean, my Facebook is to basically promote the YouTube. And if you look at the header on my Facebook, it's probably why a lot of people don't really care what I say, because it simply says across the top, fake book is not your life. And I have a skull and crossbones. And
is it just me?
What's that?
I was gonna say it's just me, or Facebook is for middle-aged women.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I don't know what it's for. I really don't.
I kind of think a lot of older people on Facebook, while more of the younger crowd is on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I just think it's, I don't know.
I know my mom loves it. She keeps asking me, "Hey, did you see my post?" I was like, "No, sorry, I didn't."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for family, and I say family, I think like seeing like family in Italy and things like that, I probably wouldn't be on there. And pretty much the only thing I put on there is to funnel just traffic to YouTube. That's pretty much it. So, but I do say that fake book is not your life, and I mean that because people post what a lot of times what they just want you to see. I think it's one of these things where you either want validation or you want sympathy. And then there's just things where people post it. It's like, why? Like, why would you even put that up there? Like, who cares?
My grandma used to roast Facebook so bad. Oh, I just used the commode today.
You know what's funny, Tony? But I think that's most all social networks, social media. It's you know, I think you got to question those ones that are always posting the great pictures of them with their significant other in these nice places and all these selfies. It's like, what are you trying to make up for in real life?
Yeah. But I find there's a better bro network on Instagram than pretty much any type of social media. I think Instagram is a little more based than Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Insta bro.
Yeah, Insta bro.
Instagram.
Yeah, anybody on Facebook is not your life.
Yeah.
It's just not. Yeah.
Face broke.
Yeah. I mean, should we start Brostagram? Just because. You know? Uncensored.
We should make our own one, like Bro Space.
Bro Space. Yeah. Yeah. So I also have another note here, and I think that the Manosphere is probably the biggest bro network in the world. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, think about it. What bigger bro space is bigger than the Manosphere? Nothing. Nothing. That's where you come to get all your bro ideas. You get your, you get to learn how to bro game women.
Do you get your bro doctors and bro car mechanics?
Yeah, broology.
Broology?
Yeah.
Okay.
Broology is big in the Manosphere. So.
Y'all ever notice a lot of bros, a lot of conservative bros have beards and wear baseball caps? A lot of right-wing bros. Y'all ever notice that?
Why is that, bro?
I don't know, bro. It's kind of a thing.
Bro, don't make me start missing my beard, bro. I kind of miss
I think it's mostly the ball caps, you know? The ball caps is kind of a bro thing.
Glasses.
What about the backward ball cap? Don't you do that? Do you ever do that?
Used to, yeah, in the 90s.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the dogs. What's up, dog?
I remember wearing hats super low like this was a thing, and then wearing it sort of up like this. And I think they're kind of coming back. I think the kids wear them like this now. Like it's starting to come back.
Well, it's more trucker style. You got to have your brim is way too curved. It needs to be completely straight.
Well, we used to almost roll them up where it was so curved. You remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And now all that's kind of coming back. They had the flat bills for the longest, which is, to me, I don't wear anymore. I really never did, to be honest. I had one flat bill cap.
I'm gonna bring on somebody real quick. His name is okay. Geez, look at this. Here we go.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up, bro?
Yo.
Hey.
Yo.
Hey.
Bro.
What's up, bro? Good to see you, man.
Hey, Tony or Brony, as you're
Brony. Yeah, it's Brony. It's Brony. It's Brony tonight. I see you don't have a bro name in your name. You are welcome to change it if you want.
Brobius.
So.
Watcher Metron Brobius.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Hold on. Let me edit name. Okay. 1 second.
Yeah, Probius.
Here we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Nice. I just got home from work. I'm beat.
Well, how's it going, man? I know we had spoken at the Bond event. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been going well. Focus on work and getting as much bread as I possibly can, and yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Any comments about the Bro Network?
I view myself in a unique position because I really try not to take sides. So I have no problem learning from the 21 convention, learning from this person, learning from that person without, saying, oh, I'm never going to listen to this side because, they're a bunch of poopy heads. Like, no, like even if I view them as poopy heads, I still want to hear what they have to say. Mm-hmm. And so I'm in a position where I can talk to almost anybody because I haven't othered myself from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let me bring on Woody Broski Johnson.
What's up, my bros?
How's it going,
bro?
We got all the bros over here, hanging out, duding it up, broology, bro networking, dude game maxing. How do you say it?
Bronication.
Yeah, bro beards over here. 2 bro beards, and Tony with his stylish goatee, and Tony being a Insta bro thought. Thought bro, Insta.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tony's
we're all.
Guys says hola bro migos.
Tony's a bro maker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me.
Definitely.
We got Michael. Oh wow. We got bro Michael Foster.
There we go.
Hey, let me Blade. You're back.
Bro Foster.
Blade, you're backstage. It keeps saying device is not connected. So kick off and kick back on. I don't know if you hear me, bro Blade.
Foster, the brother from another mother.
How's it going, guys?
What's up, bro?
Bro Michael Foster.
What's up?
Am I
Brother
muted?
Michael Foster.
No, we hear you. We hear you.
Right. Nice.
Man, you're killing me in the chat, dude.
Doing my best. Hang on here. Trying to turn down my I'm actually in two streams at once.
Nice.
Oh goodness.
Broster tasking.
Bromer cell. What do you call it? Connection issues.
Yeah.
Or Boomer Tech. Instead of Boomer Tech, it's Bro Tech. Bromer Tech.
I'll be right back.
Nice.
All right.
Actually,
he has issues with his bro-fi.
I think he's Bible maxing. I think he's Bible maxing in his
I
other
wanted
stream.
to ask you, have you ever had a Baltica before?
Never heard of it.
Baltica beer?
New to me, yeah.
Cool. Well, no. So, what's cool about this beer is that it's from St. Petersburg, Russia, but it has 8% alcohol in it. But so it's like tasty enough where it's not overpowering. Because I've had like 12% beer, and that crap just made me puke. But this is
beer mixed with vodka.
What?
Is it beer mixed with vodka?
No, unfortunately not. No, it just says it's extra lager, so this is like complete beer.
That's funny, right?
Anthony Velasquez probably has a whole review on that.
Bronafenatane.
Does it taste like piss with a little bit of vodka on the side, or no?
No. That's what I was gonna say. That although it's a much stronger beer, like it's balanced. Like it still, tastes like beer and not like cold piss.
Well, that's interesting.
Okay.
It's a lager coming from Russia, right? Because here in Brazil, lagers are very popular, right? Because it's so hot here, and lagers are lighter to drink. You know, so typically in colder climate, you want one of those more hardy beers.
Brew cane.
Are you guys aware of this? I was gonna say, are you guys aware of this beer made from? I think it's beer or some type of alcohol made from women's pubic hair.
Ew.
That is a thing too out there.
That's
Yeah, it's disgusting.
No
Yeah, but it's definitely a thing out there. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, but I saw one time, you know, they were talking about how it's made and whatever, and I was like, oh, you know, why don't you add period blood in there too?
How is
no, don't give them ideas. They'll totally do that.
Fermented pubic hair?
It's made with females, or look, I think it was I don't know if it was, because it was a catch to it too, that it's made with female pubic somehow dissolved or particles or something like that.
Maybe they filtered it through the hair. Oh, no.
That's
yeah.
No, thank you.
Well,
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I make mead with my beard.
Oh.
It helps it age well. You age it.
Bro,
Do you put it?
I would rather eat meat out of your beard than ever have female pubic hair fermented beard.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's reasonable.
Hey. Primal, do you use the meat like to kind of, I guess, condition your beard too?
Mead or meat?
Mead, the mead that you talked about making out of your beard, like, do you put it back to condition
sometimes, it? Yeah, sometimes. I was looking for a steak under that. Might have a steak back there. or drink so much of it that it just pours, like, you know, right over all of your beard, so you don't have to do like any extra work. Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, mead is
solutions.
Great. Yeah, mead is multi-purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of bro solutions here tonight.
And
let me.
Why they're trying to get rid of meat?
Blade, I see you backstage. It keeps saying device is not connected, so I don't know what to tell you. So I'm going to kick it. It just keeps saying device is not connected, which means I can't. I'm trying to bring you on, but I can't. So I don't know what your internet issue is, but fix it or whatever. But that's why I can't bring you on. So.
Blade is a connection cell tonight.
Yeah, it's a connection cell. Yeah. He's definitely having issues, but that's all right. So when I'm backstage, just so anybody knows, and it says device is not connected, you have an issue with your mic or your camera, or you have an issue with your Wi-Fi. So that's why I can't bring you on. So, well, let's go to Woody Broski Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Tell me your thoughts on the Bro Network.
You know,
and who's in your Bro Network?
So I have you know, speaking of real life network, you know, I have a few bros in my bro rotation. You know, one one is for like getting drunk, one is for you know, work maxing, one is a college bro. You know, sometimes we kind of meet up for special, you know, things here there. You know, so that's my bro network, and then online is y'all. You know, for throwing back and forth ideas. You know, I'm bro network maxing over here. You know, if I got some questions, you know, I spoke to Primal Man, you know, Whole Truth, you know, like all the guys, you know, if I'm like, hey, you know, I think let me see, let me get some new perspectives, you know, on this. So I kind of bounce it off the bros, you could say. You know, we play catch. You know, I make an idea, I make a ball out of it, I throw it to Tony. Tony throws it to Gonzo. Gonzo throws to Mr. Finn. I think that's how it kind of works in a picture.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, the Manosphere and the bros on here, this is a big bro network. I consider my channel a bro network. Now, we don't exclude women here by any means. We know, you know, Woody and Vivian had a great love connection here a few weeks back. And that was just a fantastic episode. Just fantastic. I would urge you guys to go back to, I don't even remember what the topic was that night, but
yeah.
Remember the topic that night? But if you want to see master role playing at its finest, go back a few weeks. Yeah.
Oh
And
man.
that is 100% classic. So, but yeah, this is really the Bro Network. So what I want to dive into is what happens if you bring a woman into the Bro Network? Anybody?
So I could go if
Go for it.
anybody.
Go for it.
I didn't. Okay, so as a real life observation, I have a bro network with my cousins too, right?
Mhm.
So a few of them are married, and we're shooting the shit, talking about kind of off topics and a little bit of cursing here, there. Some of my cousins are young, whenever we have a family gathering, like every week or every 2 weeks, at one of the houses, one of either it's my one of my uncles, or it's somebody from my side of the family. We kind of make a big feast with a couple different dishes, and we either go out in the back or kind of drive somewhere, and just kind of talk. And whenever there's one of the guys' wives kind of decides to come in, or just kind of hops on, amongst us, the conversation is like, it kind of goes on a lighter, more gentler. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So there's, yeah, betas, and it's like, and then I have to hold my tongue just to kind of show respect. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like that. So that's how I see a lot of times, amongst the bro networks. Not nothing against females and stuff, but it's like everybody knows there's a different tone, different edginess when it's only boys than when somebody's wives or girlfriends, whatever, pops on.
It totally changes the dynamics. It's like bringing a
Mhm.
woman on a ship. You know what I mean? It's like the mood changes, the tempo, the vibe changes.
Unless she's the cook or in the kitchen, we don't want her around.
Yeah. I heard a story. I think it was at 21. I'm trying to think who told me this, but there was it was kind of a private gentleman's club, not a strip bar, but a club. You know how people will
Cigar lounge.
sit on the
Bar stools?
Blade, it keeps saying, sorry, Blade, man. It keeps saying device is not connected, bro. So I don't know what to do. I can't bring you on when it says that. I don't know why. So I don't know what's going on, but this is the last time I'm going to tell you that. So that's where I'm going to leave it. But I can't bring you on when it says device is not connected. Thank you. So anyways, so it was a private gentleman's club, and we'll call it a gentleman's club, not a strip bar, nothing like that. But the old school where guys would go in and read the paper in the evening, have scotch, play chess, that kind of thing.
Smoke
And
cigars.
what changed the whole dynamic is that there was a male bartender there for years, and from what I understand, as soon as a female bartender was hired, it just changed the whole club. It was not the same, because what happens is men will censor themselves now.
Yeah.
It is no longer a locker room. It is no longer, we'll call it a private
club.
place,
A men's club.
Men's club. Yeah, and that's rare nowadays. Think about it. How many
Yes.
how many spaces and places are just for us men?
Only one that I know of right now. I can tell you where it's at too. And
Right
if you
here.
ever go, gotta check it out. Right here too is a second. Yeah.
Yep.
But this isn't
Definitely.
really. This really isn't just for men. It's for women too. And I think women watching this will get a good perspective on a bunch of different men and the way we think and things that we want. One thing we do, we respect women. We love women. We love their emotions because we know men are logical, women are emotional.
Yeah.
And just so you know, women, we love your emotions. That's one of the great parts of it.
We
Your
need them. It brings balance.
Yeah.
It brings balance.
Their
And not
emotions
only
are hilarious. They are the funniest creatures in the universe.
Yeah.
not only
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Tony.
No,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, not only that, but men, there's stories, in the Roman times where men used to fight wild animals as entertainment, and also killed wild animals. So, so if you look at it, men are the top. Like, how do you say? Like the orcas, are the man. I always sometimes I forget the words that I know
Top
in
of
the
the
back of my head.
food.
They're like the they don't have a predator. They're like the I guess they're even further out from the. I'll say that again.
Top of the food chain.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, they're top of the food chain, but there's another word for it because so we're kind of like that, in a way, men are the top dogs of the world, but females,
Alpha,
they do. Say that again.
alphas. Alpha
Uh,
male.
Alpha.
I feel like when a woman comes into a men's group, it's sort of like we all become suspect of each other because there's a certain element amongst every man that wants to sort of protect her,
Yeah.
right? And so we become suspect of each other. It's like, okay, who's gonna who's gonna put the little woman in danger, right?
Bend
So
a
we all
little bit.
become a little
Yeah.
suspect.
Yeah. I understand that part too, but I think females, they do calm a man down. They do kind of make him from an animal to, I guess, a more of a human. You know what I mean? Because men, they can pee anywhere they want. There's nothing really stopping men from working 24 hours.
Pee
Have
right
you
where
ever
you're
guys?
Yeah.
sitting. Go on and pee right where you're sitting, boy.
Hey, you know what's funny? You know what's funny with Woody, what Woody just said? That there's a lot of truth to that. Like in my own life, like I work and I enjoy my work and I work all the time, but I had noticed recently it was affecting my relationship in a ways. So over a week ago, I had to tone it down. I had to suspend a lot of my night classes just so I can give that time to be with my wife. Why? She needed my presence, and I needed to be there for her to talk, and I just needed to listen and just be there. And so I'm able to come on here tonight because after I worked all day, helped put the kids to sleep. I stayed with her for about half an hour. She went to sleep. And I'm like, all right, I'm cool. I'll go upstairs, have a little bit of wine, light up my cigar, and I'm with my bros. But that's exactly right. She will calm us down, bring us back in because
Yeah.
if I didn't have her, I would be just a freaking unstoppable freight train. Just keep going and
Yep.
going and going and going and going.
And there's nothing stopping you. You can just keep going and going and not even realize it, and you'll enjoy it too in a way.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny? In a way, God in His wisdom brought balance. He brought balance, and she brings me balance because I'm a go-getter. I'm that warrior out there on the perimeter, conquering, taking, working, providing, protecting, and I got her in my core, and that was starting to hurt because I was just doing that and I was noticing it, and I had to back off a little bit and kind of rein it in and be a little more present at home. And just when a week and a half doing that, there's been a big difference.
And I think
Nice.
that's the beautiful part of a woman too, because like myself, a woman will, I like that terminology, is rein you in sometimes because you need that. Like myself, I do go, I go hard pretty much all the time. And a woman will bring that sense of like, I need to slow down. It's time to spend some time. Like Pat Stedman says, I love the way he puts that, is dip your toes in the feminine. In other words, you need that some of that feminine, we'll say, energy around you to maybe ground you sometimes. So,
Bro Foster's back.
yeah, let's welcome.
Hey, Foster.
Hey guys.
Real quick. I just wanted to say the word. I think JP Ives just put it. It's the apex predator. That's what I couldn't think of at that time. That's what I was looking for because orcas are the apex predator. I don't think there's ever been a record of them being hunted by another fish in the sea. Yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead, Foster.
Well, real quick, let me. There was somebody backstage. I saw you back there, real quick. The screen is dropped here, so I saw somebody back there. So if you want to come on and talk, I didn't recognize you, but I didn't really see who you were. But if you want to come back and chat, you're welcome, of course. It's an open panel tonight. So yeah, let's go to Michael Foster, man, about the Bro Network. I consider you in my bro network for sure, without a doubt.
It's an honor.
Yeah, I really do, without a doubt. Somebody that I think is highly respected in my bro network is Michael Foster.
Thank you.
Said the same.
Yeah, man. I was thinking about a year ago, what is the difference between me and a lot of the guys that aren't having the success that I have? And the true answer is it really is, I've got talents and abilities or whatever in my own personal discipline, but so do a lot of those guys. The X factor has been that I am flush when it comes to mentors and brothers. I've been very blessed in my life to have men to invest in me, both as guys who are equals and guys that are ahead of me. And I think having that real world relational network, that tribe, that gang to run with is so important to masculine development. Masculinity is 20% taught, 80% caught, right? And you can't just read books and do Gumroad classes and podcasts and streams. You have to have life on life interactions with other guys. And when you have that, it's amazing what you would learn from a Gumroad class. Okay. You would learn from another man, in an hour working beside him. You know what I mean? That's how powerful how powerful real world interaction is. That's why it's so sad to see guys divided via digital walls. Obviously I'm not against the internet. Here I am, right? I'm using it. I'm for the internet. I'm for using technology to connect, and there's benefits from it. But there's also benefits in taking vitamin D and zinc, and I do. But that's no replacement for a meal, right? It's a supplement. It makes you stronger. And so I think of these things as a supplement. And I do think a lot of men are living on a supplement because that's all they have access to, sadly. And so these online communities are life for them and helpful for them. But we have to move from online communities to real world interaction, And so like the only reason I come on your show, Tony, is because I met you in real life. I met you down at 21 last year. And I immediately liked you and some of the other people down there. I was like, God, this is like my family. These are the people, these are my people, the people I come from. I get it. You know what I mean? And it helped me trust and connect and get a read on you as a person and who you are. And now through this has grown it. But the basis, the foundation of it was that real world interaction. And I think what we have to do right now, so we had Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp go down. And it was reminding me of the importance of taking our online network offline. Mm-hmm. The need to get actual phone numbers and meet people in real life and try to transition. And what I tell everyone is like, hey, try to take your Facebook, your Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is, your thing, YouTube community, and pivot into like meeting with someone, having coffee, knowing them, like connecting with them. I mean, this is something we've talked about in this podcast a lot. And is a number of frauds in the manosphere is really next level, okay? Because there's a lot of young men with money that like, hey, I want to be a man. I want to do well in life. And there's a lot of people out there like, hey, I'll help you be a man. I'll help you do well in life. Just give me some of that money, right? And when you're around those people in real life, it's hard for them to
fake it,
right? So like I met Elliot Hulse. My introduction to Elliot was a video mocking him years ago. He was like, he had done something, Elliot does some crazy stuff, right? Like I could say that. He was doing something crazy and this guy was like mocking him. It was Elgin Intensity, which is a hilarious YouTube channel that makes fun of CrossFitters. And I love making fun of CrossFitters. So yes. I was watching it and he was making fun of Elliot. And that was my introduction to Elliot. And so then So then I meet him though last year down at 21, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Elliot's a real genuine guy. Who he is on stage is who he's all the time. He's married to his high school sweetheart, down to earth guy. And while there might be some like differences between us, well, some significant here and there, he's a good dude. Actually, he's a really good guy. But then I met other people. Where I'm like, oh, this guy is a good writer, but he's a good writer, right?
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, man.
That's what he is. You meet these guys in the manosphere, which they're really good copywriters that are good at digesting red pill truths and taking things that have been laid out there by some of the tried and true manosphere blogs that have been turned into ebooks or been archived, and they really just regurgitate it with slight little their own little touch. But it's not, I mean, that's if we're doing good. They do a little difference to it. And then you meet them and you're like, man, these guys understand concepts in their head, but they don't have a happy marriage. They don't have a beautiful wife. They haven't integrated this at all. These guys are good talkers, good theoreticians, but in terms of like practical experience and wisdom are on the lower end and not that much different than you, right? And so getting in person with real people makes a big difference. Like our whole ministry method out here in Batavia is I try to every other week have one or two families at the same time over to my house on Sundays. And we try to have our house well ordered, but I have 7 kids. It gets a little crazy sometimes. Sunday mornings trying to get to church on time, frankly, is kind of stressful. You know what I mean? So we don't hide all that stuff because we don't need to. I don't need these people to think that I'm awesome. I have it all figured out. I've stopped caring about that at this stage of my life. What I need them to know is we're a church founded on honesty before God and pursuing holiness. We don't have to have a show. We're like anti-show, right? We want to be as real as possible, without making it into some other new thing, right? So real life bros, real life brothers, real life friends, they tone down the BS in your life, and they teach you to smell alpha guru, predatorial, gumroad selling frauds, right? And we all need some of those people in our life because you just can't replace real life interaction with the internet. The internet's a supplement, right?
I'm so glad you mentioned that too about Elliot. Now I was invited to Elliot's house. I was there Saturday for a big barbecue, and Elliot is as real as it gets. He has a beautiful family. You can see his kids adore him. You can see he adores his kids and his wife. But those are the interactions that I noticed, when I was there. Those are things that I reached out to him and told him, hey, Elliot, I appreciate you, having me there Saturday. You have a beautiful home and a beautiful family. And Elliot lives the life that he projects onto YouTube, 100%. His family life, his fatherhood life, his kids are well-mannered, just a great family. And you can see he has I'm sure it's not all roses and puppy dogs all the time, but he lives a very genuine life. I didn't expect to see anything else, but I was happy to see what I saw, which was genuine Elliot in his home environment. I was honored and happy to be there for a big barbecue and to hang out with everybody just as bros, with family and everybody else there. So,
the manosphere is basically one big catfish.
Yeah.
Is what I think we're also like. There's a lot of real people out there. They are, right? And they're finding each other, and that's awesome. That's great. Praise God for it. I'm happy to see men you know, I'm a Christian. I want everyone to be a Christian. You all should convert. All should be Presbyterian too, right? If you're gonna be Christian, you might as well go all the way.
You hear that, buddy?
But what I would say is I am happy though, even when non-Christian men are finding non-Christian older men or brothers who are like pointing them in less destructive ways and helping them work through grief, pain, all that sort of stuff. That's a net positive. They keep their hearts beating, so guys like me can continue to preach the gospel to them. I'm thankful for that. It's not a bad thing at all. I think it's a good thing, and I do think guys are very alone, and they're looking for men that understand their struggles and pains without demeaning it, and so I think the manosphere can be good, but you know, there's that movie Catfish, which is it was turned into a TV show. You know, basically where someone pretends to be a woman online, and either it's really a woman that looks very different than her picture, or it's actually like a guy a lot of times. Well, you know, I had this interaction with Jack Donovan last year, and I was talking to him about Bronze Age Pervert, who wrote Bronze Age Mindset, which is one of the funner books I've read in a long time. They say it's Jordan Peterson on acid. And it's a really weird book, right? And but a fun read. You know, it's very anti-Christian, but it's just pagan and doesn't make any apologies for it. And so I got a kick out of reading it. But I wanted to know what Jack thought about it.
Well, he might be on tonight, so.
Awesome. Well, what he said is that he hadn't read it. What he said, he hadn't read it, and he wasn't judgmental towards it, right? He just said that he'd been around long enough that with all the pseudonyms, he just doesn't really pay attention anymore. If he doesn't know him in real life and has a pseudonym, he doesn't really pay attention to it. And it's not so much that he's like passing passing judgment on these guys, rather that he just has met these big names in the manosphere when they end up coming to a conference. You know, they're like big names for years online, and they finally get the guts to do a conference and come on stage. And then you see who they are, and you're like, this guy's been telling, you know, this guy actually doesn't live the life he's been selling on his Twitter feed or his blog or whatever. So I guess Primal wants to introduce Dylan. Have at it, Gene.
Yeah, let's introduce Dylan. Dylan, first time on the stream. Good to have you here.
What up, Dylan?
Your mic is off, Dylan.
You're muted, Dylan? Maybe.
Dylan, do you have anything to add to tonight?
He
I
can't.
guess his mic's broken or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, his mic's broke, he said.
Yeah, maybe your mic broke.
Cool. Okay.
Glad to see you here.
Well, yeah. We're glad that you're here. Now you
there we go. Okay.
There you go. Good. Dylan, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. I'm following Michael. He said something about crashing this stream.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to bring it's one on bros, so I thought I'd invite a bunch of people over.
Well, how are just the two of us going to crash it, Michael? I mean, it's 6 against 2, and I'm not that good at fighting.
Oh well, these are good guys, and it's 6. You know, 1 against 6 for me is usually a fair fight.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you guys, do you know Dylan? Michael Fox?
I do. Yeah, I know Dylan.
Oh,
Dylan.
okay.
So it's Good to Be a Man, which is my podcast. We also have a online group called Hall of Tyrannus, or Tyrannus Hall, which is kind of an online group where we try to build up each other, encourage each other in spiritual development, all forms of development, and Dylan's part of that. And that's how I've gotten into Dylan. Fraternity. Yeah, Christian fraternity. That's a good way to put it.
Oh, excellent.
Nice.
Dylan. Yeah, so Dylan, let's get your thoughts on Bro Network and bro psychology and broology.
Never heard of none of that. That sounds odd. But I am well acquainted with the manosphere.
Yeah, I mean, in simple terms, what it means is the Bro Network is, I think that all men need a Bro Network. And we're basically putting it like the Bro Network is people who you can reach out to, friends, doesn't necessarily, family can be in the Bro Network, But the bro network is guys that you can reach out to, say a doctor, a lawyer, somebody in a profession that who did we lose? I lost somebody. I don't know who.
Lost the other bearded guy.
Oh, okay, yeah, we lost the other bearded guy. Anyways, so it's guys that you can reach out to, whether it be a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, an electrician, a mechanic, but your bro network. And the way the bro network works is that it's there's reciprocation involved. Now you can't be a complainer in the bro network. You have to give as much as you take. So it's guys basically that are in your phone that you can chat with, or you need to get like a doctor on the weekend. We all know you can't have you can't go to a doctor on the weekend unless you go to the ER. But how nice is it to have your doctor or your dentist in your phone where you can call them and they're in the bro network? So that's what the bro network is. I mean, I've had a bro network for years. The older I've got, the bigger. We'll say the rotation has been going for years. Guys come in, guys go out, but it's not a one-sided thing. So that's kind of what the bro network is. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah. So do you have a bro network? Tell me about it.
Heck no, man. I mean, I'm just literally a 30-year-old man in my parents' attic. So, you know, I don't have I'm way out in the middle of nowhere in Texas. Not a lot of people around. So I don't even have a church, and Michael would scold me for that, most definitely. But and rightly so. Recently,
but you're taking steps, brother. You're moving in the right
not
direction.
really.
No,
I mean,
okay. Well,
I'm
I
hanging
tried.
out with you. But no, not because there's churches within driving distance. It's more like, you know, leaving Jehovah's Witnesses and being like, I gotta walk into a Baptist church is a big step for me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm open to it. Just emotionally, I'm not quite there yet. But hopefully, I'll get there eventually.
Nice.
I would agree with Foster. I think you're on the right step. You know, you're on the right path. Just one thing at a time. But it's important to network and be in a congregation.
Yeah, I'm with OJet on that. Sounds like a place to be, Dylan. Out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, sure, but I don't. Since you asked if I had a network, the answer would really be no. You know.
Do you want a network? Do you want to build a network like that?
Well,
Because I think it's important. I really do. I think it's an important thing, and it's not just for. To me, the bro network, it's as important to be able to use it as it is to be used in the network, and that's real important. So when somebody reaches out to you for something, hey, you know, I got you. You know,
I feel like Dylan's pretty clean with a 30-06.
my dad is. I don't even know what that means. I know it's a bullet type. I shoot guns, but I don't know enough about them. You know what I'm saying? Like technical terms and all that jargon.
What Dylan's got going for him is he's pretty straight up and honest.
To a fault, because I talked a lot of shit when I first came into the group and aired all my grievances out publicly, like with very little like tact, and I said something about you that ended up not even being true, so that I made a bad first impression.
That's part of male interaction, man. It's all good, right? I mean, I think the good thing about guys is guys don't bear grudges in the same way that most women do, right? Like I think what a lot of men want to know is
Where you stand.
Well, where you stand and what role do you want to play in what we're trying to get done, right? And I think once guys start to understand that you're trying to work towards some greater mission, they tend to find a way to work those differences out. And I think guys that hold grudges are effeminate. I mean, I think they really are effeminate to the core. It's not a very masculine thing to do. And why would it be feminine? Well, I think women focus on nurturing and protecting relationships. So when that violation happens, it's a violation that hits them really hard, right? Because it's to their core. What guys are offended by is when people abandon the mission, right? And so effeminate men are women without wombs in terms of a mission. They don't really have a really great role to play in it. And so guys can fight each other, draw blood, call each other names, do a lot of things.
Have a beer.
But in the end, if it all works out to a greater understanding to what each other are trying to achieve, and it's some sort of mission or end that each other at least respect, you usually can work through differences pretty quick. I've found. You know what I mean? That's been my experience so far.
Let me ask you a question. I'll ask the whole panel this. When do you just say, when do you let somebody go and say, there's nothing more I can do for you? You know, you've had those battles, you've had those talks, you've had everything, and it just doesn't click. In other words, it's just, there is no more, you know, broology between you. There's just nothing going on. You know, do you know, wish him well, and that's it.
For me, as a pastor, I have to do that a lot. My time's very precious. And there's people that think I'm their therapist, and I'm not. I don't have to meet with them week after week after week after week. I don't intend to. I will meet with the person and to help with them work together to determine the spiritual issue that we're dealing with, and call them to take steps. And it just really comes down to whether they take those steps or not. So my rule is, I treat people to some level like stocks. Good stocks, you put more money in. Bad stocks, you put less in. And I draw that from the parable of the sowers and the seeds, where you have basically the sower throws seed on the stony ground, can't take root. Then there's ground that there's a stone underneath of it, you know, and there's ground that's thorns and thistles, and there's a good ground where it takes root. And so with people, where you don't know when you talk to them always what type of soil they are. That comes through the relationship and the interaction. And what you're looking for is like, is there some sort of response to what I'm sowing into their life, the truth I'm telling them? When there's a response and they're trying to take action, then you can be patient with them. But when you see someone's just full of excuses always, and always blaming the women, the system, the big Eva, whatever it is, they're always blaming something. And that keeps them, there's always some sort of mysterious thing holding them down, keeping them from taking action.
Let me ask you, let me just interrupt you real quick.
Go ahead.
There's a big difference in recognizing when something's wrong versus blaming when something's wrong.
Yeah, so
I think blame and recognition are two different things. I think recognizing something is wrong and maybe trying to figure out a solution is different than blaming it on that, which usually there is no solution. It becomes an excuse and not a search for a solution.
Yeah, I guess my thing with men is I'd like to see them take responsibility for the things that are their fault. I don't want them to take responsibility for things that aren't their fault. I'm not really interested in that. My whole thing is control the controllables. And if you're willing to own the things that, like, because the things that aren't your fault, what can you do about it? You know what I mean? Like, what can you do? I can't change a lot of things, but I can change myself. I have control over myself, to a reasonable degree anyhow. And so when everything is always about some outside force and never about you taking ownership for yourself, then I start to think this person's a victim and will continue to always be a victim, and I can't help them until they see themselves as someone that actually has God-given sovereignty over themselves, ability to take action, and at the same time take responsibility for their actions.
Learned helplessness.
Yeah, might be a good way to put it. Yeah.
I'm going to bring on Josh.
While Josh comes in, I'll add on that. It's like what I was talking about earlier. When someone's always playing the victim and not taking ownership of things that they have caused or are part of. For me, that's a big thing too. So it's like I'm all about helping people out too. And unlike a pastor, me being a teacher, kind of political, I treat everybody decent. I interact with everybody because to me it's potential business. But at the same time, with the interactions, I get to know a lot about who the person is, and that's when I start to learn who can I bring in closer and who do I keep at arm's reach, and just mainly as like a business relationship in a way. And I don't do anything kind of like personal with.
Yeah, let me welcome Josh. Josh, bro, good to see you. First timer here.
Welcome.
Absolutely. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. How did you find us?
Foster, I follow him. I'm a fan. I'm not in Terrace Hall though, but I follow his Facebook.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Good. Yeah. So tonight is about bros, man, and welcome, bro.
Who's got the rooster, man? Is that you?
That's
you?
Me. That's me. Sorry. Yeah, I'm in the jungle.
Yeah, he's in Brazil. Yeah.
I thought that was me.
No, that's me, man. That rooster kills me every time I'm trying to record a video or doing something. Like, son of a gun.
People are always trying to give me roosters. So I was like, I don't want your roosters. Give me your hens. I want
Don't
eggs.
need a rooster.
Man. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So Josh, yeah, we're welcome. Glad you're here, man. This is awesome.
Thanks.
It's good to see new faces tonight, man. So new faces tonight is Dylan and Josh, and you guys are always welcome back anytime. We talk about all different things on this show, man. So that we call it reality check. So that's what it is. We're here to give people a reality check on Thursday nights, and just anybody watching Saturday nights it'll come back in November sometime. But Saturday night on this same channel is Get It Off Your Chest. And it gets wild at about 11 o'clock. We start at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And everybody can contest on this, on the panel, that Saturday night Get It Off Your Chest can be a lot of fun. But that's what it's about, is to come on, get it off your chest, say what you want. We get a lot of trolls. They're fun too sometimes. There's a lot of alcohol flowing sometimes. Not with our panel, but the guys that are on, but that makes it fun. But that's Saturday nights, so everybody is welcome to come back. Again.
So who are the core members here? It's you and then Finn, I guess.
Yep. Basically, really, all the regulars are here. I have a lot of regulars. They kind of cycle in, cycle out. But yeah, Broster Finn, actually English with Mr. Finn. If anybody wants to learn English, I know I have the link to his channel for sure. Primal Man is normal. Gonzo School, there's Gonzo, regular. Woody has always been a regular now. Awesome. Great input all the time with Woody. Just, always has a great perspective on things. And
thank you, Tony. You're very kind. Thank you.
I always appreciate his input. Michael Foster, complete regular, and you guys are always welcome as regulars. So that's, and there's more. There's more to our crew. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But
cool.
Yeah. So
I got a question.
Sure, go ahead.
So I guess I would go towards Foster or anybody in the panel who has kids. When do you guys hold kids responsible? Or anybody could chime in. I think it's just a general observation of the world. When do you hold your kids responsible? Is it when they're old enough to understand you? And if not, then I guess what would be, a discipline measures that you guys take?
For me, usually it's very young. Kids are very smart. People treat kids like they're idiots. They're not. They're very intuitive. Every kid's got something going on. So I had this back in the day. My oldest son's 15, and Hud's, when he was a baby, we had this we had this glass thing that kept my entertainment center behind it, and Hudson would open it and get all the crap out, create a big mess. So one night, I'm not one of those guys that are anti-spanking. I know some of you guys think you're more loving than me and anti-spanking. It's because you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and I'm not going to argue with you, okay? But anyway, Hudson would pop that sucker open, and I would spank him for it, and then I'd tell him don't. He would walk right up. I mean, he walks pretty early. He's like 13 months. He'd walk right up, and he would get his finger like this, right up to the thing, and not touch it, right? And he'd look at me, and he would like look over at me, and then he would go and pop it out, like to test me. Now tell me, you think that kid doesn't know what the hell's going on? That kid knows exactly what's going on. And so kids really do understand way more than we give them credit for from a young age. The task of a parent is to understand that discipline is not punitive, it's restorative, right? Punitive is a punishment like you give for a crime. It's restorative. Whatever form of discipline that we use, and you should have varied types of discipline. The purpose is to bring them in a right way, to teach them how to conduct themselves in life. Our job is to raise adults, not children. We don't raise children. We raise adults. We raise children into adulthood. So you want to start having them take responsibility for themselves as soon as possible. And, right now with my boys, they've got all those hormones flowing through their body. So I have my older boys. I've got 7 kids, but the 3 older are 11, 13, and 15. And, the testosterone's kicking in and all that stuff, and the emotions are raw. And I can't control their emotions, right? I can't. So I always tell them, son, this is your emotions. It's your job. I can't do this for you, right? And I always tell my kids, the most unloving thing a father could ever do is stop disciplining you when you're young. Because there's a day that's going to come where you're outside of my home and you're far away from me, and there are no speed bumps. You are the speed bump. I can't stop you, right? And so right now, when I stop you, the goal is to teach you to be able to stop yourself. So I teach all my kids, like, you have to be able to tell yourself no and yes, because someday dad won't be there to say no anymore. And so you need to teach them to take responsibility very, very early. Very early. And you need your discipline to be restorative towards a positive goal, and not just because you're pissed off and angry that they got in your way. Okay, that's not good fatherhood, right? Like, you have to do it out of love for the kid and out of desire to help him develop.
Yeah, I'll add to that too, because I have 2 little ones, and it's funny because my son sounds a lot like what your boy would do, and he likes to push it. And he knows what he does wrong. And he even tells us, like, afterwards, I did this. I misbehaved. So I try to run a tight ship also. I spank when spanking is needed, but I always go down to his level in a way, because he's 5 and he's on the spectrum. So his issue is very behavioral. And he has a difficult time controlling his extreme emotions. So I always try to go down his level and explain to him in language that I know he understands that what he did was wrong and that he needs to be better. And at the same time, to be an example to his sister, who's 2.5 and already starting to copy his bad behavior. And it's a little harder to kind of get her to understand, even though I know she does, but she has a stubbornness to her at 2.5 already that it's hard to rein in. But to talk about what Michael said, I do the same thing with my kid already, where I make him, he's pretty independent for his age. He likes to help, so I get him to help when we can, so he feels involved. And at the same time, I make him responsible of certain things that I know he can be responsible for, so he can feel like he takes part. But it's important, I see myself, is to discipline him in a way where he's learning and not feeling like I'm abusive. And it's a razor thin line. And me as myself, because it's frustrating, because I got a lot to do, but I got to make sure that at that time that the message is being clear to him, and it's a day by day thing. So I do agree. It's important to, as soon as they start walking and doing things, to get them to be starting to be responsible for the things that they do and understanding.
No, that's a good. I was about to ask, where's the kind of line drawn, because you being a father, full grown man, you have to kind of watch, I guess, how do you punish a kid for, and like you just mentioned, it's kind of a thin line. You gotta be
It
careful
depends on
with
what
that.
they do. It depends on what they do. It depends on what they have done. It determines a lot of time what
Sometimes
the
you
punishment
burn them with
is.
a cigarette, and sometimes you burn them with a cigar. Just depends
Oh,
on
man.
how intense the sin was, right?
I don't know about that. I've never
All right.
Let me welcome John Michael Clark. John Michael, how you doing tonight?
What's up, bros?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Bro?
Good to be with you guys.
Yeah, good. Yeah, how did you find it? Michael Foster?
Yeah, Foster posted on Facebook, and
I
finished up another call, and I clicked over and was like,
yeah,
dude, how do I join this thing? This sounds like a good time.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Just so you know, the topic was kind of bro stuff tonight, but we kind of let the conversation morph wherever it goes. But I think we're still in the same category here. But any input on bro psychology, bro science, and broology is what we call it.
Broology.
Wow, that's amazing.
I love the bro energy that's happening.
John Michael Clark here. He's a church planner as well. He does the Family Captain is the name of the work you do. He works with kind of coaching men as well and helping them over really I would say marriage relationship issues more than anything. Is that right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So that's what John does. Good guy.
Oh wow, you need to come on some night with Pat Stedman then, because yeah. That's Pat Stedman is kind of in your wheelhouse for sure. He was on Thursday. That was great. And yeah, you were on with last Thursday, right, Michael Foster? I don't know. We had so many people on last Thursday.
Yes. Anytime Pat's on, Pat and I vibe together. It's like I just like Pat and I I think we have the same views on relationships. Pat kind of coats it in a lot of kind of new age language that I don't use.
Yeah.
But his observations are on point. I think they're really on point. And he's probably one of the best minds in the manosphere, honestly.
Yeah, anybody new watching, in fact, last Thursday night's stream was with Pat Stedman, and the topic was girl game, something that nobody talks about. And girl game is basically, I don't want to call it all manipulation, but there's certain things about women that I think men need to know when they're using things that women can use to get what they want or to, and that's not always a bad thing to get what they want. But Pat did a great breakdown it for a couple hours until we moved into Armageddon game. And, but that was a very interesting stream. I think Pat's one of the few that talk about girl game. And that was a very interesting show, super interesting. But yeah, John Michael Clark, you might want to check out that last stream on girl game with Pat.
Yeah, I'm ashamed of myself. I don't even know who Pat is, so I just wrote his name down.
Yeah. Well, we'll just say Google him first, and you'll find him quick. That's all, and I'm going to leave it at that, right, Woody?
Yes.
The FBI knows where he's at.
Oh man.
But
have you guys heard of real quick, Tony? Have you guys do anybody over here know about Nick Fuentes?
Uh-huh.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure,
so
yeah. He's like the anti-Jew Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he has a lot of backing by a lot of young conservatives too. But the big point I wanted to make was that I think recently $500,000 have been taken out of his account, I think by the FBI. So I never heard a case like that before, but now that's a thing too now, that for any suspicion they can do that now.
I don't know what Tony and I can say on this stream, so I'll be very guarded in my language.
Yeah, we don't say the V word.
But what we will say is that we are very well aware of people in this world who have had their accounts shut down, locked down, had money garnished from them in that way.
Wow.
That's not shocking to us at all.
Right. Because I definitely am aware of bank's account being shut down, but blatantly getting money taken out, that's a bit new to me, because whenever there's a shutdown of an account, of an individual, for whatever reason, they usually get the last check or last transaction with a letter from the government or a call from letter from the bank, not the government, that your account's being closed for this, vague terms. So that's why I kind of wanted to, but it definitely was a new to me for that amount and for some reasonings.
Should have had it in Bitcoin.
Who are we talking about again?
Nick Fuentes.
Oh yeah, Nick Fuentes. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
He's like the evil doppelganger of Ben Shapiro.
In fact, I think if you go to him and a couple others, even on D Live, they're no longer there.
So yeah, he got kicked off D Live. I remember that.
Yeah. I know Owen Benjamin. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Owen.
Yeah.
That was kicked off. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I used to love Owen. I don't even know where you can find him. Maybe I think it's
just on Gab. He's on Gab.
Gab TV. That's it.
That's it.
Yep. He was hilarious, man.
Does he do live streams on Gab?
I don't know. He does videos. I don't know about live streams.
He does some live streams. I've seen him do a few.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got him and his brother, a bunch of bros out there bought a bunch of land, and they're building their own sort of community or something.
Yeah.
So
I remember when that started. I was a big fan of Owens. I liked him. I loved watching him on YouTube. I used to watch him on Instagram Live, D Live, and then he just kind of disappeared. So, but he's another one that was canceled in a very big way.
He went all in, man.
Yeah. He bugged out for a while. He was on Crowder for a long time, and then he just disappeared, and Steven didn't even know what happened to him. He was in a state of distress for a period there. I think he's okay now, but
yeah, I mean, I've watched him up till, we'll say, not even a year ago, probably even more than that. Enough to where he knew me when I would comment in the streams. So, but he was quite outspoken, and I like all the bears for sure. So
anyone who can be funny while they tear down the left is dangerous, and will be taken down eventually.
Yeah, and he is super based for sure.
Hilarious guy.
Yeah.
There's not. Geez, I can't say much about him right now because I just can't.
But
I want to talk about him, but I can't. I just can't.
I don't know what even to think of him now, because there is a lot of, like everybody, a lot of disagreeable things they talk about too. So I don't even know what to think of him. The last time, like I think it was around a year ago when I kind of got off, listening to him and kind of moved on in a way.
I never moved on. It's that I couldn't see him anymore.
I think a lot of those guys got pulled into some straight up conspiracy theories. Like look, there are real conspiracies out there, no doubt. So some of the things that are happening with the supply chain, with COVID, there's levels of conspiracy theory, but it kind of seemed like guys kind of went all in, right? Mm-hmm. So like we didn't go to the moon, and 9/11 was the inside job. Soon, like all the things that were conjectures became like facts, and if you doubted them, you were some sort of cuck who couldn't understand what was going on, right?
I get that, but I'm going to say I'm not sure if we went to the moon. I'm not sure if the Earth.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely positive we went to the moon. You can look through a telescope and see the structures we left on the moon. There's literally no doubt that we went on the moon. The Earth is round. You can prove it with physics.
Yeah.
Well,
I still have. I still question that. I do.
That's the questioning too, because if it was MD did a whole stream about this, and I kind of thought the same way too, but there was a big discussion with everybody, because the I guess I don't know what they would call it, but that the ships of that it kind of looked like it couldn't even travel to a different state, much less the moon. And another thing was that the gravitational pull, when astronauts are jump walking, or however you want to say it, with less gravity. You could see it in the video. Anybody could find it. That the rock that fell out of one of their bags fell in a normal gravitational pull. Could even be similar to the Earth, but they're jumping, walking the way they were walking. Supposedly was less gravity. So a couple of different things like that. It just again, I can't really prove this, and I don't know how much we should or can talk about this. Same thing with 911. I don't know how much we could talk about. I don't want to get the channel in trouble, so that's something I'm afraid to talk about.
Well, there's certain questions that I have about flat Earth, and yeah, we'll go there because
I'll go there.
Just
bro
because
science. Is that what this is?
This is definitely bro science. I mean, realistically, I shouldn't be able to see the vehicle assembly building from my beach, but I do. So
okay.
There's a question right there.
If you take two towers at the same time of the day, okay, and you separate them by 100 miles, and so the sun's in the same position, and they cast a shadow, the shadows will be at a different angle, right? So even though exact same time, same light coming at it, the shadows will cast a different angle, and that's because the curvature of the Earth is exactly what's happening. There's like a million times you can do that. And what I think, here's what like flat Earth, which is no one's ever believed it. The Bible never taught it. Flat Earth was never normalized at all. It's a new thing.
Wait. Don't the Bible, don't they talk about the four corners of the
Yeah. Does wind really come from four directions?
Corners on a globe. That's just
does God have wings? Does God have wings to hold?
But here's what I would say: speaking, understanding both Greek and Hebrew, because I had to, and knowing like the original language. Well, I'll tell you straight up, it's just using it's a metaphor. Like we have four directions. There's multiple directions, right? North, west, east, south. Are those the only directions we have? No. It's a way to summarize things. We'll talk about quadrants or whatever. Like, are there really? Can we divide the world?
Well, why can't we go to Antarctica?
Yeah.
I know people that have, but I guess maybe they're part of the inside job because I'm so powerful. I have so much influence that they had to deceive me.
Did they go to the edge, or did they
go to the hole that goes into the hollow Earth? I don't know if they did or not, or to the big ice wall that goes to all of it. But what I want to do, I want to send one of these flat Earth guys up into space. Like, I would give money to that Kickstarter. Like, I'd be like, hey, I'm all in, man. $20 to send this guy to blow his flat Earth mind. I'd get all into it.
Wait, hold on. Why does Antarctica matter? Just go west. Why does it matter the direction?
Well,
that's right.
It kind of. Well, the thing is,
it's like a plane, and it's like ice around the edge.
Okay, let's get this straight. Earth isn't flat. Think of an ice cream cone. It's more like an ice cream cone. That's just kind of my theory, that we're more than ice cream cone shape.
If it's if it's circular in some way, then just go west. You should hit the ice blocks eventually.
But how do you know? Well, here's the thing. None of us can really. I don't know if we're even legally allowed to kind of, have our own supplies and travel the world in that way. And somebody who can, hey, I would definitely, agree with that. But we really can't say yes or no on that. And I mean, if you really want to make everybody happy over here, just pretend Earth is in a donut shape. I think that kind of goes towards all conspiracies. Just a joke I want to put in there.
I think we've just moved into a level of Gnosticism. I think we're in deep skepticism because we have so many people lying to us. And then what happens is that you have something like flat Earth that takes off, namely due to the internet. Because look, it goes against all signs of physics. You got a bunch of retards making retarded YouTube videos that clearly don't understand the basics of known physics, like things that we can demonstrate like quite easily. These aren't hard things to do. And I think what it shows is that the institutions that are supposed to be truth telling have been telling lies. And the way something like flat Earth takes off is that we don't know who to trust anymore because lies are everywhere, right? And so where I connect with what I sympathize with flat Earth, moon conspiracy, whatever, where I where I sympathize is that we've had people lying to us.
Thank you, Daniel.
For a long time.
Square with round corners.
But anyway. So
No, I agree with you, Foster. I agree with you, Foster. The only thing is, and look, I'm not gonna, be going out to the tallest building and yelling, Earth is flat or whatever. I heard different theories or whatever about it, but I kind of lend on the example of, okay, we truly don't know. No, none of us ever went to space. None of us ever went to the dark side of the moon. In my end, it's just the speculation. I'm not gonna take side on the flat earthers.
That's because the moon is flat. That's why. Okay.
Well, that's what my favorite part is. Like, apparently all other heavenly bodies are round, but the Earth is the flat one. It's like all the other planets that we can see through microscopes are round, but Earth is flat for some reason.
Well, I like to dive into these because I'm very, very curious, and like laser tests and things like that, and simple things. I mean, who was it? Trying to think who it was that in the interview with that little girl, he said we didn't go to the moon. What's his name? Oh crap! He lives up in Cape Canaveral here. What the hell's his name? The astronaut, not Buzz Aldrin. I think.
Lance,
Neil Armstrong.
Isn't okay? Yeah.
Neil Armstrong, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
What is that?
deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, it's okay. Well, but it's. I mean, I understand the lies out there too, but it's kind of like there has been a lot of how you could say I don't know, full truths or speculative truths in this truth. So it's mind-boggling, but I kind of wish I had the privilege of having a rocket that I could go and disprove this theory myself, just for fun, but unfortunately I can't.
I mean, there's like so many easy ways to disprove flat Earth. Like, flat Earth is like the dumbest thing ever. It's like super easy. Like, there's nothing respectable at all. Like, Santa Claus being real is more real. So we can know by the way we can literally like look at the hours it takes to get from one place on the globe to another by plane. You can fly it. And the only way you can explain it is by the curvature of the Earth. That's the only way. Like, it's super duper insanely easy. Nothing about it is respectable. I just want to be clear. Like, I don't want to be misunderstood here. Like, you can go look at airports and you can see the flights. What you'll have to say is not only is NASA fake, but the airports are faking their flight times. The only way they can work is that you're flying over and going round.
Yeah, but how come they're not pushing the rudder like forward the whole time? Because if the Earth was round, wouldn't they just go like this, going over to Europe?
On whose physics model?
Yeah. So,
but I'm just telling you, look at it. It's like really easy. It's a fun thing because I was like, how do people believe this? Like, I don't understand.
You're trying to critique round Earth with a round Earth physics model. Like, I don't even understand what's going on here.
Yeah. Well, also Stevie Wonder isn't blind. I heard that also.
He's not. He's not blind. That is true. Actually, he's faking.
But we can all agree that Epstein did not kill himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
definitely.
He was Clintoned.
He was Clintoned.
Hey, so here's a crazy flat Earth thing. Even when flat earthers have done all of their controls and held their feet to the fire before their experiment and said, we're going to run this thing, we're going to set it up perfectly, and then they've said, this experiment will prove yay or nay. I think it's a Netflix documentary, and it is not mocking them. Unfortunately, they give them enough slack that they do that themselves, but they don't turn you against them. They just follow their experiment. And you watch these people, and I mean, I care about these people. I care about everybody, but it's kind of sad because as their experiment is coming together and they're realizing the Earth is round, they start to go, yeah, we did something wrong here. And you're like, no, they're going back into the loop because they ran their experiment. They were proud of it. They said, this will certainly reveal yay or nay. And then, of course, it revealed that the Earth was round. And they were like, yeah, something was off with our calculations. Like, nope, you did it right. You did a good job. You used the scientific method. And, you know, I think you're really committed to a concept that isn't there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we think about it because do we really want to find something different? I don't know conspiracy theory, but I think to close your mind to anything is a bad thing. I think there's certain truths that if you can't physically touch that, see that truth, and it's hard to just trust and believe anybody. And it might be the environment we're living in now. And again, like Michael Foster said, internet, things like that make things more popular. But sometimes it's good to look into those things and make your own judgment. You know, I mean, you know, you never know. You might be on a cruise one time, Michael Foster, and then hit the edge like the Truman Show, or just go off the edge. You don't know.
I'll call you a Big Tony. You arrive.
Or you're flying over to Europe sometime, and the pilot doesn't push the rudder down,
and you accidentally go to the flat moon.
Yeah, why is it? Yeah, then you're like, wow.
My theory is that if the Earth is really flat, the round Earth lie must be pushed by whoever's selling those globes that we used in geography and history class in public school. Yeah, it must be driven by the desire. That's what I always like to ask is like, why? Like, what? Why lie about? Well, NASA's lying. Why? Well, because NASA's evil. Okay, I get it. They're evil. Why this lie though? Why?
Well, that's my big question too. And just like you said, that's like I wish I was educated more on this subject just for curiosity. I heard things here or there, but that's also my big question too. A lot of times, which I don't get answered. It's why the big lie regarding the flat Earth or the globe.
It was a Cold War psyop.
Guys, the thing we should be talking about is the UFOs. Like, that's the crazy story.
Okay. So, it was one of the 3-letter agencies. I think in May of last year. Probably I guess the middle of the zombie apocalypse, which confirmed on a tweet regarding unidentified object. Now that could be anything,
just
but
a few months ago though. But did you guys see the reports of what our Air Force pilots have described? And this stuff is declassified now, like
distraction.
This stuff
I've been advised by friends close to not comment on this publicly.
So I'm not commenting. I'm just saying this is very interesting, and it coincides with things that the weird yokels have been saying around the world. So
Satan masks himself as an angel of light too. So,
yeah, I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, it's under the the ultimate sovereignty of God, and whatever it is that thing. And I don't know what it is, but
yeah, even let's say even if the Earth is flat, I mean, what difference really does it make in our lives? Okay, the governments and those in power lie to us. What's new?
Well, there's got to be something out there if they're lying.
Because
there's a lot out there actually.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, all over the world, not just U.S., there's no-fly zones. Why is that? What's the big secret behind that? Not only Antarctica. So that, if I have, well, it's state sovereignty, but when did it become justified by law that you can't, regardless if you don't have to be a attack airplane or a military grade aircraft, but you could just be a regular traveler, but you can't fly in those zones. That's just my question. And international treaty of not allowing anybody to go to Antarctica. That's the weird part too. That why does it have to be so restrictive? If somebody wants to take their chances, then let them kind of explore. It's their own independently if they're going to choose to whatever they want to do out there. So that's the weird part. It's unexplainable.
They want to protect their interests, but now we have billionaires that are going out there flying into space, right? Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, So we got people taking on ventures of their own. They could come and refute stuff if they wanted to.
That's what they want you to believe.
Yeah,
They're
true.
part of the they're clearly part of the reptilian
The
overlord.
cabal.
Dude, I thought for sure everybody was gonna bite on the UFO conversation, but no, flat Earth.
Wait, no. I wanted to.
We're going to get back to that. Don't worry, because who was it?
Yes.
Uncle Gonz had the. Where is he? I got to.
This is the very stuff that bro networks talk about. Like it starts like,
UF.
hey, what's going on with your wife and stuff?
Yep.
I don't know. What do you think about UFOs and flat Earth?
Tonight they're called UF Bros.
UF Bros. Yep.
I just thought, like, I don't know. I felt like it passed through the news cycle. It passed through conversations.
It's distractions, man. It happens when big things happen to get you. It's like a magician, sleight of hand.
Are you saying it's not real?
Oh, of course I'm saying it's real, but I don't believe it's UFOs. I mean, okay, UFOs, unidentified flying objects. I just don't think they're extraterrestrials on other planets.
I'm not saying
it was a
that
pretty
either.
wild story, John. What I would say is that it would be some of the most high-tech drone technology of all time that could be one is it could move at 20 knots. It could move at speeds that humans can't, so it can't have a human pilot. It would kill them. It was able to move transmedium, so it could move from air to water, which was super weird. And they were out there at sea for some reason, observable by radar, by their laser targeting for their missiles, and they had eyewitnesses both on San Diego and out on the East Coast as well, and they both described the exact same vehicle that was able to move in and out of water at high speeds. Super weird, very strange. Seemed like they were going to force the government to say something. They had a lot of guys come out of the initial group that they had been contracted to study it. Those guys went public with it. They made that whole big build-up this year, where Donald Trump and President Trump, last year in the stimulus bill, actually had a writer bill for them to do a report on it. And the report came out, and the report basically said, and I read it, in a nutshell, it said, we don't know what these things are, but there's something, and we should do further research.
Right.
So it is super weird. It was pretty freaky. As someone who's seen some strange things in the night sky when I was a younger person. But what I would say is that, the world's got a lot of weird things in it. Maybe we figured out anti-gravitational because these things have so when you manipulate gravity, the idea is that the field works like a wave. And so basically these saucers would be surfing on top of a wave of anti-gravity that would explain the weird movement that they had. That's something people have been trying to. There's actually a few patents that go back about 30 years for anti-gravitational engines. So maybe they figured it out. Maybe they didn't. Maybe it was all psyops to keep us distracted. It's so hard to know. I'm going to
ask the $1 million question. As we have Christian men on this panel, and Woody, I believe you're of Muslim faith, correct?
A Muslim background. I'm not, I'm kind of in the middle, as you would say.
All right. So you're basically going to hell. Just kidding.
No problem.
Anyways, so say UFOs and aliens are discovered. What does that do to the whole Christian faith, Muslim faith? What does that do to that? Does it discredit it immediately?
No way.
It does.
Zero.
It in no way affects anything.
Look, C.S. Lewis already wrote the space trilogy. This is not new to Christian thinking. It doesn't change anything. It's just not mentioned in the Bible.
Mm-hmm. There aren't aliens. They're never going to be discovered.
Yeah,
I agree.
Wait, Michael, come on. How could you just say things like that? Just make a strong statement. Nothing's gonna.
All right, here's your.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll describe your assumptions. Your assumptions is that life comes in through random chance, through evolution, and therefore, since the Earth is so big and so gigantic, it follows reason that through random chance, life should appear elsewhere. Yeah.
Well, that's a general science reasoning. Yes. Okay.
So is that your reasoning, though, Woody? I'm not curious about.
No. Well, I mean, it's gonna. I have to, go into a few more details. I don't know if you were asking a question or kind of going with your thinking.
Why is the immensity of the universe evidence for more life?
Well, so in only our galaxy, known galaxy that we're in, it's what 200,000 plus just stars. Sorry, 200 million plus stars. Now every star, as we know, has planets because of the gravitational, orbiting different planets to those stars. Now, if we kind of go into just the one chance of billions or billions, that why wouldn't that be a possibility? Why would we just be the only life?
My question: why is the immensity of the universe evidence of life? You haven't answered my question. I'm listening to what you're saying. You basically just repeated exactly what I said. Why is the gigantic?
It's the chances.
Okay, why does life appear by chance?
Well, life supposedly, according to science, appeared because came to existence.
The road to hell is paved with adverbs. You said supposedly. Is life? Does it appear by chance or not?
Okay. Let me interrupt here. I mean, MD was on. We had a good stream one night with you and MD, if you remember, Michael Foster, and we talked about a lot of things that night. But what like MD is a scientist. This is what he does. He's an archaeologist. I don't want to. I believe that's the right term for him. But what he was saying too is that he was saying that science is disproving evolution.
He's right.
Science now is disproving evolution.
Evolution's a theory.
Evolution theory. So what happens is that people, like you write a paper on evolution, and they don't want to be discredited. People are patted on the back for writing these papers and these theories. So what's happening is science is showing more. In other words, you look at like some of these drawings that like MD has had on his stream showing these carvings that there's no way those were done by hand. They were done by machines.
Thousands of years.
Yeah, thousands of years ago. Thousands and thousands of years ago.
Sure.
So what I interpret from that maybe is that maybe there is life form that started here and has traveled. That's kind of my interpretation of that. Maybe the life form started here but has traveled, and now those time travelers have
Star Trek.
They found something that we haven't found, and that's a reality that we can. It's not a reality, but it's something that you can't just say no. That couldn't happen because you really don't know. You truly.
What
don't.
I would say. To use all I would say is this: what I like to ask is the big worldview assumptions. What are our worldview assumptions so I have a series of assumptions that lead me to my conclusion. But anyway, what were you about to say?
Well, I was gonna say the artifacts and the real actual pictures that MD took himself are dating back to thousands of years, where supposedly humans were backwards. There wasn't machinery available. If you look at one of the locations in Peru, I think it's there. There's a whole stair steps that go to build houses, curvature of stones in times that technology or machinery wouldn't exist. With more precision. Like, let me give you one biggest example. The precision of the northeast and west of the pyramids are more accurate than the White House. And that's like almost to zero of a foot, or I think inch. He even demonstrated that. MD demonstrated that on the stream with his research. So that's one factor. And pyramids are what, I think 6,000 or 8,000 years old. There was drawings of, let's say, the dinosaur with the long neck that was on I think they look like cups with holes in the bottom. That was dating back to 6,000 years ago. There were stone drawings of different figures, in the old, ancient Egyptian artifacts that displayed human form creatures, but with different heads. There's creatures that could even look like the predator, the alien, its head. That's dating back thousands of years. But according to science, right, we were all dumb. We were all, playing with stones and rocks, and whatever civilization we know is what dating back to maybe less than 1,000 years, or sorry, not 1,000 years,
12,000.
maybe a couple thousand years.
I'd be more close to 12,000 is where I would say that modern man. Right?
That's the general theory of evolution, and a lot of the stuff that you hear, like people used to believe the world was flat. Literally is stuff that like Enlightenment atheists made up to make religious people look stupid. Nobody who's a scholar of medieval classics thinks that anyone in medieval times thought the world was flat. But for some reason, Richard Dawkins thinks that medieval people believe that. For some reason, the atheist that you run in on the street believes that. And it's bizarre.
Right.
There's these narratives that have been they've been reinforced in public school. They've been reinforced by dumb people who think they're smart. And they've never read a primary source in their entire lives. They don't know how historical inquiry even works. They don't even know how the scientific method of inquiry works. And they hear somebody say this on the television, Neil deGrasse Tyson or somebody, and then, you know, all of a sudden they've had God's own knowledge transferred to them about the universe. And that's, you know, the whole reason why they can't be a Christian anymore, or they can't, you know, respect religious people or things like that, is because of a literal piece of propaganda, of malicious propaganda that somebody like Voltaire made up and spread.
But you know, Josh,
well, there's a lot of good.
You know, Josh, the
Go ahead.
reason people make propaganda is because it works,
right?
And because, you know, I mean, humans are naturally. You and I are propagandized in ways that we won't know for a very long time, because it's just the nature of propaganda that you don't know that you're being lied to.
Well, you can't study everything. You can't know everything.
Of course, right.
You can't experience and see everything.
It's just that I sympathize with those people who say, you know, religious people thought the earth was flat, because that's what they were told people thought. You know, like I was taught from all sorts of things from my teachers that I find out in my adult life isn't true. But I mean, they're not evil because they believe something that's incorrect. It's like, you know, I don't dehumanize them for that. It's like they're either going to be brought to a better understanding eventually, or they're not. But I don't feel like it helps to.
Well, it's useful. It's useful for them to be abusive. And that's why it's upsetting to me, because I've never seen anyone bring that up in any context
right about
that is neutral.
You're right about that. Go ahead, Tony.
Do you have anger, Josh?
Do I have anger, like in general?
Yeah.
Of course.
Gonzo?
Yeah, bro. That's my secret. I'm always angry.
Josh was saying that he just doesn't like. Sorry, Bruno. Go ahead.
Gonzo, did you hear my question?
What was your question?
I asked Josh, do you have anger?
Do you have anger? Do you love white people?
Do I love white people?
No, it's because it's funny too, because I know you guys are familiar with Jesse Lee Peterson. He had asked that question at 21, and he asked people. He said, "Does anybody here have anger?" And a lot of guys raise their hands, and he says, "Do you know that any man who has anger is a woman?"
Jesus had anger. Just go have to answer to him at the end of the edge.
No, I'm just lightening up the subject a little. But anyways,
right.
We'll go back a little, and now we talk about faith and belief, and that's faith is what? What is faith and belief? It's basically believing in something you can't touch or see. Correct? I mean, that's what faith and belief is. Really,
is faith in your friends? Is faith in your mom and your dad? Is that something you can't touch or see?
I get that. Yeah, I think it is. I think faith is more of a feeling, we'll say.
Faith is still evidence based.
Yeah, it still is. Okay, but then, you know, I bring up this simple question. Okay, we have Christianity. Again, I'm a Christian guy. But as a Christian guy, I think as a Christian guy, and any Christian needs to question things, question everything. You have to question everything. You have to question everything. I don't care if it's the Bible. You have to question those things. Okay, so let's say now there's Christianity. There's Islam. There's Buddhism. There's what are some religions? How many religions are?
I think there's like around 200 different religions.
Okay, somebody's going to be real disappointed when they die.
Lots of people.
Yeah,
lots of people. Now, this is where do I have faith and belief as a Christian that am I going to go to heaven when I die? Yeah, I do. Do I know? No, I don't know. When will I know? When I die. Now, if I die and I get 72 virgins, there's going to be a lot of disappointed people out there. There really, really is.
You chief of which, because we already know about women.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that faith, everybody has their faith. And I don't want to say it's your own faith, but faith is what you believe in. So somebody is wrong. I mean, somebody is wrong or nobody is wrong. But as a Christian, if you don't question certain things in your faith every day, I think you have to do that. You have to question everything. You have to question Michael Foster when he's on the pulpit on Sundays. If you're in that congregation and there's not something that you're questioning about what he says, you're not living an authentic life. And that's a reality that I think.
Living a good G.K. Chesterton quote I like that kind of would work here is Chesterton would say that an open mind's like an open mouth. You open to close it on something. So it's fine to question. The issue is if you ask a question, you get an answer, and you keep on questioning, then it's disingenuous, right? You're just committed to skepticism. But it's fine. Like I'm okay with my kids ask me, "Hey, Dad, why do we believe in the Trinity? Why do we believe in this? Why do we believe in that?" Like that, I'm fine with them asking that. I want them to wonder. I want them to ask those questions. I want people to ask why I don't believe in aliens. That's not like a central tenet of mine. And to Spratt, who's asking me about C.S. Lewis. You haven't read enough C.S. Lewis. He actually is the one that convinced me that there aren't aliens. So you're a fake hipster. But nonetheless, I think it's good to ask questions. It's fine. To act like all truth claims are equal is disingenuous, right? And so we have to have a discerning mind. So be able to listen. You know, one thing that I've grown from is being able to listen to just about anybody and benefit from them. Paul quotes from pagan poets. We can learn from people that are very different from us. But all truth is, or all claims aren't equal. And so we should be willing to question things like, does the Bible say this? Is this true? Is this congruent reality? And then when we come to an answer, then we settle our mind, we close our mouth on that truth. And I think that's the thing we need to work our way through, and be willing to offend people, not out of a desire to get a rise out of people, but offend them because we disagree with them respectfully. Like, hey, no, I don't think Muslims are going to heaven. I don't think Mormons are going to heaven. I don't think anyone that denies Jesus Christ, he's the way, the truth, and life, and no one comes to the Father beside him. I think they're all screwed basically, and they need to humble themselves. But that being said, I think we should be able to enter in dialogues with people and hear people out and be able to explain why we believe what we believe, you know, what our faith is in. Right. So, yeah.
Well, I'm going to play this real quick.
A lot of people are like retarded. They're like, they can't comprehend. You know what I'm saying? They are like absolutely retarded. I saw a situation yesterday, and the situation was handled by adults, but in a retarded way.
There you go.
That's the world I live in.
Classic.
We live in a 85 IQ world.
He just solved everything.
Yeah, I mean, the scriptures actually.
Who's talking? Dylan, go ahead, my brother.
Thank you. I was going to say the scriptures agree with your approach to question things, Bruno. 1 John 4:1 says, "Dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world." This is just one particular verse that came to mind, and I know there are at least two others that the scriptures don't enforce blind belief. That's unfortunately, a lot of Christians think that you're supposed to blindly believe what the Bible says, but I believe what the Bible says because I've tested it out and it's true. So your idea there, Bruno, that you should question things is absolutely supported by the scriptures.
At the same time, scripture does make the case that you should be certain, that you're not, when you're in faith in Christ, this is not a, man, I hope I picked the right one. Like, I hope I picked the right crypto. So at the same time, John writes and says, brothers, I write to you so that you would have assurance, that you would know that you have eternal life. So it's not, hey, roll with Jesus. This isn't a roll of the dice. So the person who is in Christ is not going, we'll see.
That's an important distinction too. Yeah, you arrive to the assuredness through questioning and testing, which is precisely what the scientific method is. So yes, I'm certainly not saying, I'm not advising a Gnosticism. That distinction you make is important, John. Yes, that you test out so that you can know the truth. So,
and I think that testing is really the big question mark, because everybody's going to measure that differently. Some people are going to demand things that the Lord refuses to provide them, and He's provided far more than enough evidence for what most people claim they need. And then people claim they want the miraculous, but the scriptures are enough. And that's exactly what, Jesus taught whenever He was talking about it. These two guys died. One of them said, oh, please don't let my brothers come to hell here. Send somebody back. If they saw somebody raised from the dead and preached to them, then they would believe. And he told them, no, they have Moses and the prophets. And he says, no. But if they saw somebody come back from the dead, he said, no, if they don't believe Moses and the prophets, then a person coming back from the dead won't be enough either. So ultimately, it's not about, it comes down to what Foster referenced a minute ago. It's pride. It's ego. It's, I'm demanding things that I don't have any right to demand, and the Lord has provided plenty for me. The issue is my lack of humility. God opposes the proud, and He gives grace to the humble. So if I'm humble, then He rewards that humility. And if I'm prideful, He says, you can have it your way. You're brilliant, John Michael. Go ahead. You get to end up with the conclusions that you've made. And all the while, I think that God is the cog in my wheel, and I've got Him sorted out with the scientific method, when in reality, I'm the cog in His wheel. His plan is working perfectly. My pride is preventing me from coming to faith, and it's exactly as He designed it. The humble get to receive, but the prideful, you can have exactly what you want, which is really more of yourself.
That is helpful to remember. Oh, sorry, Bruno, go ahead.
So what do you say to say somebody with Woody's faith or Woody's family who's Muslim, so you're saying, what are you saying to Muslim people or Buddhists or to I don't know, 200 other religions?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm saying to them the same thing I'm saying to my 6-year-old child. Jesus Christ is King. He is ruler over all the universe. He died and He was raised from the dead, and He is supreme. Anyone who says differently is a liar. Christ is what He said. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Well, I don't believe that. You don't have to believe that. But you ask, what do I say? How much would I have to hate somebody to not tell them this truth? How much would I have to hate these people to say, oh, I think you're right too? All of these things can't be true. So it was Lewis who gave us the trilemma, right? We have to call Jesus Lord, we have to call Him a liar, or we have to call Him a lunatic. But He didn't leave anything else. He didn't leave this meandering middle ground to go, he was a good moral teacher. He was a nice guy. He didn't leave that up for vote. So I've got to cast my vote. And a lot of people do that. They just do it incorrectly. So I don't trust in Christ because I've tested Him in the way that a lot of people think about it. I trust in Christ because the Holy Spirit has confirmed His truth to me. So He's done that miracle. Well, you can't prove that to me. I absolutely can't. I didn't claim I could. But this is why I trust in Christ. This is why I lean on Him and rely on Him, because I know Him. So the atheists, they got to me too late. I already know Him. I didn't just learn the principles of God. I've been in the presence of God. And, what do I say to those people? I say, love and follow Christ, because there's only one religion that's different from all the others. Every other is man-made. Every other is a religion of the ego. It is a religion of earning. It is a religion of my accomplishment. And every other faith, Islam as well. I accomplished the 5 pillars. I have earned my right. I have done X, I've done Y, I've done Z. Buddha, he pierced the bubble of the universe with his mind and rose petals rained down on him. That's cool. But again, who's the hero of the story? Buddha. So who's the major prophet in the book of Islam? The same guy who wrote the whole book. So all these religions come down to what man has to do, what man must accomplish, except for one. There's this one where, hey, you suck. You're awful. You're so bad that God has to die. So it's the only religion that mankind would not have created because mankind's not the hero. Christ is the hero. So it's another thing that sets it apart to say this is all these things are not created equal. That is a common misunderstanding. Like, oh, well, you think this, but he thinks that. Yeah, but they're not the same. He has to earn something. And in the religion of Christ, which is just the truth, Christ has provided it all. We respond to the grace of God through faith. It is not like any other religion.
I wanna have a friendly, or I guess harsh debate or discussion. I'll be right back. Give me like 5 minutes, Tony. I gotta take care of some business real quick.
No problem. Well, John Michael, you don't sound like you have any anger. That's good. It's good.
Hey, I'm not mad at people, man. This is not flesh and blood that we're warring against. This is spiritual. Satan has blinded he's blinded people. So they can't see that. They don't know that. And I really do love people and I really do hate Satan. And I really do believe what I believe. I'm not hoping. I'm not waiting to die to see, yes, I guessed correctly. Like, I know him. I know him. Like I know Natalie's in the other room. Like I know Elijah, Brock, and Hudson are in the other room. I know him. And so I'm sure of who he is. And because of that, like, again, how much would I have to hate somebody to not tell them that truth?
Well, I want to bring on Bro Deuces tonight. Bro Deuces, good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, glad you're here, man. A little late, but that's good.
Yeah, just having a little drinks with some buddies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Building my
Some
bro
bros.
network. Yeah. Calling it good.
Yeah, you were hanging with the bros tonight. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. Went on a camping trip with the bros past week too.
That's
so that's
right.
another
Good,
one.
good. How was that?
Oh, fantastic. Badlands and the Black Hills. Saw the Wind Cave. Lots of cool hikes.
Excellent.
Wonderful time.
Excellent. I want to introduce the rest of the panel to Bro Deuces, or otherwise known as Caduceus. He is our resident medical school guy. So he is studying. I am proud of this guy. Very smart, intelligent guy that always joins the panel and always has great input. Caduceus, I don't know how long you've been listening, but we've kind of morphed into, I think we've kind of got into the questioning of religions. And I know Woody's going to come back, and I think he's going to always give some, I think Woody always, I'll say, delivers some great skepticism sometimes. Not sometimes, but I think all the time. So,
yeah.
So
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. So where we are, I mean, faith and belief is a big one. It really is. But again, I go back to, even though I'm a Christian guy, I still have to question things. And questioning things to me is really important. Again, I look at other religions. And in fact, John Michael Clark, you really explain things really well. I can tell you're well-read and well-versed on other religions. So again, my question is I'll pose this question to the whole panel. So what was so convincing about the other religions where, another 2/3 of the world isn't Christian? So why is not the other 2/3 of the world not Christian? And I'll leave that to anybody on the panel.
Swords, guns, cultural upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll jump in really quick too, because I'm gonna head out. It's really late for me, but it's innate in us, in humans, to believe. That's why we have Aborigines in the jungles and stuff worshiping creation. In Romans 1, is really clear about that, how it's been reversed, where we end up worshiping the creation rather than the creator. So it's innate in us. I think it was John Calvin that said we're masters at making idols or something like that. I can't remember.
Human heart is an idol factory.
Yeah, there. Thank you very much. I'm pretty tired right now, but yeah. So that's about it. So the fact that it's innate in all of us, that's why Christians set out missionaries, because, like I had mentioned in the chat, it's not believing in Jesus that sends people to hell. It's sinning against a holy God that sends people to hell. It's just Jesus is the gate. He's the one that brings us out of the fallen nature that we're in. And the thing is, Scripture talks about this. Repentance comes from the Lord. I think it's found in Timothy. Repentance comes from the Lord, and Scripture and theology and stuff. What does it say? I think it's in Corinthians. It's nonsense to a carnal mind. And there's lots of questions. There's lots of evidence in there. Everything's been brought for us to believe. The thing is that it's got to come in from the inside out, not from the outside in, because you can intellectualize around it in circles and stuff. And I had just thrown it out there really quick when you're talking about all these religions. I see it as two religions: the real true religion that God commands us to worship in his revealed word, and everything else that Satan has created. And that's how I clearly define the two. So the reason why that there's all these religions is because, what is Satan? He's the king of lies and the master of deception, and keeping us full of distractions and flat earth and aliens and all this stuff, and keeping us away to the truth, because we're at enmity with God, our creator. And it's God himself that will transform our heart of stone into a heart of flesh and changes our desires from the inside out. So again, just to wrap up my rant, every single creature, every single human believes in the divine. They just don't know it, and that's why they worship creation, like Paul wrote in Romans. And that's why missionaries are sent out to show them who is the creator, and that's Christ Jesus, and he is the narrow gate. And with that, my friends, I gotta sleep. It's almost 1 a.m. for me. Have a good night.
Thanks, bro, Finn. Appreciate you, man. As always.
Love you. Love you.
Great way to go out.
Peace.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Later.
I am crashing hard as well. I got to get up like at 5. And that's in like 5 hours. But always a good stream, Tony. Thank you so much. I appreciate having this sort of open dialogue with men. So,
well, Woody Broski Johnson is back, and he's got some. And Caduceus, I want to ask you have anything to throw in here?
Yeah. Only thing I have against that is taking complete faith in just straight scripture, which is why I appreciate what guys like Michael Foster investigate, really study it as scholars and study the context of maybe where an area was translated and lost some of its meaning, and try to find the truth, what was the original message was. Because like you said, Satan or whatever power opposing force you believe in is a master of deception and could take control of the hierarchy of religion and manipulate the words to serve his or her bidding. So I think we know we work with each other and we know what's moral. It's just whether we can set a base, figure out what we are, what we stand for, and build each other up instead of break each other down.
Conscience, right? It's the Latin for with knowledge. There's a knowledge of right and wrong that's implicit in all creation. People just know, like you said. Really, there's not much debate on the major moral categories that we see laid out in the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, clear cut, and I'm sure they're universal.
Yeah, which is interesting that they're universal. There's the fact that it's, that's when you study anthropology. I think that's the need for blood sacrifice, the idea of a legal remedy, that you have to be made right with God, that God's a judge, that there's laws that breaking God's law is a violation, which Christianity calls a sin. All those things, they cut across all cultures, which shows that I think that doesn't mean that all religions are equal, rather that there's a knowledge that has been transferred from the very beginning through all cultures, right? That you can trace all the way back to Genesis, and that it took on different forms and got corrupted, kind of like telephone, but is contained in the pure form in the Old and New Testament. That's how a guy like me looks at those things.
Hey, one last question, Foster.
We want to go to Woody Broski Johnson, our resident heathen. Go ahead, Woody.
Okay, so what is the origin of the Bible or the Christianity? If you could just kind of go over that quickly.
So a lot of unread people think it was codified or something like at the Council of Nicaea or something weird like that, which is not accurate at all. But no. So the first 5 books of the Bible, the Torah, the Pentateuch, were written by Moses. So Moses was the son of Egyptian slaves that were brought into the house of Pharaoh, where he was trained. Then he murdered one of Pharaoh's people, flees to the desert of Midian, and then from can you hear my daughter crying? I'm just curious.
I was going to ask. I was like, somebody's baby is pissed.
Yeah, she's really mad. She just won't go to sleep. But anyhow, my wife's like, no, I'm going to bed. Anyhow, so Moses is the one that writes the first 5 books. So the first 5 books of the Bible are written during the exile. So that's during probably Ramses the first, I think, if I can keep my pharaohs right. I can't remember. Nonetheless, so he writes, God reveals to him on the mountain that no, Constantine wasn't the founder of modern day Western Christianity.
No.
To anyone that's ever read a book,
Constantine was not even a Trinitarian. It's amazing that the Orthodox faith even exists right now.
Anyhow, so then Moses writes those, and then we have prophets that read to others, and then the whole Old Testament was more or less agreed upon. So even when you get to something like the Apocrypha, which are these other books that are roughly from the Old Testament age, they weren't considered scripture. Right. They were considered history, helpful for history, but they weren't scripture. Okay. And so then you get to the New Testament, which comes through Jesus and his apostles. Right. So the Christianity is the fulfillment of all that was revealed in the Old Testament. So what was contained was revealed in the New Testament, exactly who the Messiah was going to be, how sin was going to be dealt with, how the dividing wall between the Gentiles and the Hebrews was going to be resolved. All that stuff finds its fulfillment in the New Testament. So that's where Christianity comes from. The idea that Christianity was produced or concocted by some council or by some simple ruler is just not true at all.
Now
go ahead.
The first Testament, how long ago after Jesus passed was that written, or was it written during his life?
Excuse me, the Old Testament or the New Testament?
The old one. I think it's the First Testament, right?
So the Old Testament is so there was 400 years of silence of God speaking between Malachi and the book of Matthew in terms of the time that they record. So Malachi describes a time roughly 400 years prior to Christ's coming, being born through the Virgin Mary.
Okay, and then how long after? What was I think the New Testament was written or formed?
So it's written, depending on who you trust, anywhere from about AD 40 up to about AD 65 on the different books. So Christ lived to be 30-ish or so. And then roughly 10 years after there, some of those books like Mark or whatever. Now, remember that Aramaic is a highly oral tradition and a language given to the ability to tell. So, alphabetic, we had to learn alphabetic aerobics, by Black Alicious in my family to teach people.
Mm-hmm.
Artificial amateurs aren't at all amazing analytically as salt. animate things. Like we teach our kids how to memorize poems and stuff. So you could actually memorize oral history very, very effectively and translate it. Back in the day, I'm 41, Tony can speak to this too. You used to be able to memorize like 50 phone numbers, right? You just had phone numbers in your head, you could dial them, right? So it's hard for us to understand that oral tradition was passed down fairly consistently, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks for that. I don't want to hold you up too long. You know, I know you gotta get back to your household. You know, so, yeah. Okay. I just wanted to kind of get a couple things, you know, from kind of cleared up in that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Well, I wanted to debate, but I don't know if you're gonna be around. You know, because
let me hear your debates. I'd be
okay. All right.
We're waiting on a debate. This is
All right. Okay. Now I know from John Michael Clark. You know, is it personal on your end, and also about Michael's claim, Michael Foster's claim. You know that I'm not rushing in or knocking on the gates of hell that I want to get in, so I'm not even gonna talk regarding that. But you know, I just wanted to kind of say that other than your knowledge, you guys claim that nobody's getting into heaven, you know, or without if they're Christian. But you know, did you guys kind of study or ever got into other religions? You know, if you guys would make claims like that.
Sure, I was an atheist for 17 years. I grew up in a pagan Jewish family. Prior to converting to Christianity, while I was studying martial arts, I was deeply into Shinto and Buddhism. I have degrees in history and literature and a master's in theology. I've read the Meg Vedas. I'm familiar with the Eightfold Path. I've read the Quran. I've got a copy. I was discipled by Mormons for 1.5 years and read the Book of Mormon, The Pearl of Great Price, Doctrines and Covenants by Brigham Young. Yeah, I'm pretty well versed as people go when it comes to different religions.
So now you kind of came to the I guess this part of Christianity where I think you're Presbyterian. I think is that your current religion?
Branch of the tree. If you think of Christianity as a large tree with many branches, that's the particular branch I'm on. But I'm fine with people just belonging to the tree.
Okay. So in your opinion, I guess the gateway to heaven is that you have to be coming from a Christian faith or one of the branches.
Jesus says that he's the only way to the Father, right? And that you have to worship Jesus the Son. So if you're a Muslim, Jesus is like a great prophet, but Jesus isn't a great prophet. He's the very Son of God. So, you know, they'll say that God doesn't begot, right? But Jesus is the begotten Son. So that's heresy. That's a false teaching that goes against the direct teaching of Scripture. And so Muslims are, while they might be great neighbors, you might want them to be involved in your neighborhood block party and have barbecues and all that stuff. They are teaching something that directly contradicts what Jesus, the Alpha and Omega, is taught.
Well, so what about? I guess since you read Quran too. I think it's stated in Quran that I'm not exactly quoting it, but the Quran was, I guess, dropped by the sky. It wasn't actually written. And when it states, that Muhammad is the last prophet, was there another prophet after Muhammad, or according to your knowledge, as far as I know, Muhammad was the last prophet?
So Muhammad claims that in John chapter 14, when Jesus promises the coming of the Holy Spirit, that he'll lead us all into truth, that prophecy refers to him. Muhammad was part of a sun worshiping occult out there. He at first had a weird Jewish Christian mixed religion, and he basically got all his money from a rich woman that he married until she died, and then he went out into this desert and had this vision from this angel that revealed to him through a series of visions, the surahs, right, that you create the Quran from. The Quran itself is not congruent; it's not internally consistent. And so, no, I would say Muhammad is not a prophet. He's a false prophet. He's a child rapist, and he's a liar, and no one should listen to him.
Well, so
I say that very dispassionately. I don't mean it. I don't mean it offensively, but those are facts. Aisha was 8 years old when he married her and consummated his marriage not long after that.
I think she was 9, as far as I understood. I heard from everybody.
Then for 10, we'll say 10.
Well, not only that, I wanted to also.
We'll round up a year to
Okay,
make
all
it.
right. I also wanted to add that for thousands of years, marrying or having kids in an earlier age wasn't a taboo until now. So this was practiced throughout the world.
I just got done doing a deep study on marrying age throughout history. It's funny you should bring this up. No, actually, marrying age. So you get betrothed. A woman might get betrothed as she moves into puberty, which before HGH being in the food stream, right? Which has moved woman having her period much younger would have been around 14, 15 years old. So the idea that if they would have married, it would have been a betrothal, and the betrothal would have meant that the girl she belongs, like a wife belongs to a husband, she belongs to that man, but they won't consummate it until she comes of age. So the idea that you would consummate with a child is foreign to any moral society, even in the ancient world.
Well, even this was, because there was a presentation by Stefan Mahler, and I didn't read upon this, but mothers were having sex with their kids. I guess that's dating back 100+ years ago, because this concept of, and not just it was kind of like a practice in a way thing, for when a kid was when a kid was growing up. So I don't. It's things like that, and I understand the period cycle when a female can have a kid whenever she comes to an age of period. And you mentioned it's around 14, if I'm not mistaken.
Generally, that's what it's been, and but it's been moving much younger because of probably human growth hormone.
Yeah, now it's like 11.
And the steroids that are just in our meat because of the way we produce meat. Is probably the reason we think that is when we see native populations that are still eating non-GMO meats from like deer or whatever. We don't see the same young ages. I believe that's how they're able to conclude that. But that's really neither here nor there on Aisha. The problem with Muhammad is he doesn't deal with sin, right? Like how do you deal with your sin problem, Woody? You have sinned against God. You've lied. Jesus says to hate in your heart is murder. To lust in your heart is the same family of adultery. The ultimate question is, how do we deal with the fact that we are sinful before a righteous God? Right.
Right. No, I understand that part. I'm not competing with anybody for less or more sins. I think everybody did do that throughout life. That is one.
We're all equally screwed. You and I both. And the question is, what is the solution? What solution does Islam answer to our sin problem?
Well, I kind of look. I'm not a scholar or well versed on. I do know. I guess observation throughout life and just knowing little things here and there. Maybe one day I am gonna read the Bible and look into the Old Testament and kind of go through the history of that. But going back to the pet. I just don't want to look. I'm kind of careful of what could I say or not, especially on YouTube.
Sure.
Going back to that pedo thing. I understand.
Young age stuff. Yeah.
Young age stuff. Yeah. Sorry about that. This kind of I know that is looked at as a sin, and I don't agree with it either. As I understand, just following the law and how things are now, but that being practiced or kind of looked at as bad upon, let's say Muhammad's doing, is just kind of looking, I guess, down at something or a religion itself. Now, according to Islam, just I guess following the rules and the law, like Quran is written in a way that I guess what do you call the banking system that's not permitted allowed. You have to eat from your certain hands. Usury. So if you do look at usury, yes. You're allowed to eat with a certain hand, and one hand is to when you shit and you gotta wash yourself. Yeah, exactly. I guess even just praying 5 times a day, if you look at it as kind of like a way of the life book, just like a lot of times Christians have to follow their own rules too. That makes your way to heaven. And I don't know too much about the 72 virgin. I think it's kind of made up. to kind of have men die for the religion. In my honest opinion,
It's newer.
What did you say? It's newer.
It's newer. It's not a big part of the Sunni and Shiite religion, as I understand it.
Right, exactly.
Wahhabi,
but
right?
I don't know if it's specifically kind of, I guess, coming from Wahhabi ideology, because I heard that in different branches of Islam too. Like you just mentioned with Christianity, there's also different. I think there's like 27 different caste of following Islam that you could do. Now, my question to you is, okay, so Bible has laid it out. You have to do this, and you kind of have to be a good human to have your way to heaven. So Islam is clear on that too. But what makes Christianity or superior to Islam?
Well, because we don't believe that. We don't believe.
So it's just a difference of belief.
Well, no, hang on. Well, yeah, to some level, we believe God is so holy that there is no way that you can get out of his debt. You cannot earn or work your way to heaven. Bottom line, period. God is so holy, and you deserve destruction. We all deserve destruction. And there's no way by going to church or fasting or praying 5 times a day or doing your Bible reading plan, whatever. There's no way that will ever make you right with God, because God is not mocked. One sin, God is so holy that one single tiny sin is enough for you to be destroyed. Right? That's how holy he is. And so with that in mind, we can't ever put God in our debt. We can never earn our way through our good works. Therefore, who could? Well, the only person that could is someone that never sinned, that never had impurity in him, that kept the law absolutely perfectly his entire life. Right? So that's called passive righteousness. So Jesus in his life never broke the law. He kept the law his entire life. Right, all 10 commandments. And the only reason he could do that is that he is the perfect man. He's the God man, 100% man, 100% God, hypostatic union. So how does it work? I don't know. Light exists as a wave and a particle at the same time. There's all sorts of things we don't understand. So Jesus lives that perfect life, but God, justice has to be met. So if someone kicks a baby in the head, someone's got to pay for that. Someone does a crime, someone has to pay. Justice isn't about rehabilitating people. Justice is about paying a debt, right? That's what in our soft, effeminate culture, we forget that there is a punitive nature to justice. So that's called propitiation. Propitiation is that God has a wrath because of sin. So if you're not angry when you see injustice in the world, you're actually ungodly. Injustice should make you angry. So God has.
I get that. I agree with you.
Cross. So Jesus dies on the cross as a propitiation, as a sacrifice that could satisfy God's wrath, because he's totally holy, and God can pour out all his wrath, all the punishment that is due to people onto Jesus. And then Jesus as a federal head, as stands in our place. And his righteousness is placed on us legally, and our sin is placed on him legally, and we can be made right with God. That's the gospel. The good news is Jesus lived the life that we couldn't live and died the death that we should have died to make us right with the holy God. That's the gospel. That's the difference between you and I.
That's the gospel. Well, our Savior is following Muhammad and his teachings, right?
Did Muhammad ever sin?
I mean, I can't say that for sure, to be honest.
So is Muhammad without sin?
I don't know.
Could he? So are you saying that it's possible that Muhammad is sinless?
I don't know an answer to that.
Did Muhammad die as a sacrifice for the wrath of God?
Let me think. I'm not sure about that either.
I mean, the answer, according to Quran, Muhammad himself, is no to both of those things. And so ultimately, Islam is a works-based religion that says by doing good things, you can put God in your debt and therefore get to heaven. No one gets into heaven because they're good people. There aren't good people.
But see, that's what I was talking about. That okay, so it's now going to a different belief of the book or the household that you raised in. So let's say if you now that your understanding is okay, Christianity is the only way to heaven. Now Muslims will argue differently, and it goes back to the population question. I guess Christians overall in the world are what 2.2 or 3 billion, and Muslims are what 500 million less according to like stats. But it goes back to it that, let's say you claim, oh, the Christian is the only way. How would you even what would be the difference between, okay, Islam is wrong, or other than your understanding, what kind of case you would be able to make to somebody who's from a different religion? Doesn't even have to be Islam.
Well, first off, the home I grew up in wasn't Christian, right? Remember, I grew up in atheist, so I didn't.
Oh no, I heard that. Yeah,
so
I heard that.
so a lot of times there's just sort of genetic fallacy that well, you're only a Christian because the home you grew up in, right? But that doesn't prove anything, because you're only Muslim because you grew up, yada yada yada, right? But I mean, ultimately, the issue has to be. This is what people need to understand in the whole manosphere and everything, is that this idea that everything has to be fair is effeminate and weak. Like, God doesn't owe anyone anything. Everyone owes God everything. We are in God's debt. God's not in our debt, and God doesn't have to welcome anyone into heaven. The fact that anyone can be saved is an incredible grace. That's what I would say.
Okay,
and
what about a person who has never ever heard anything about Christianity and lives their whole life and dies?
So the general answer on that, what I would say, is that first off, that God puts people everywhere in history that he wants them to be in time and space, right? And but the main thing is that God doesn't owe us anything. So we're all lemmings running to hell willingly, following our sin nature. And the fact that God scoops up any of us and breathes new life into us is amazing, right? So if some dude out in the mountain just going on with his life, right, eating bananas or whatever he's doing out on that island all by himself, dies and goes to hell,
so that person is so there's no justice in a way. Somebody who just is growing out somewhere in the middle of nowhere and doesn't have a concept, like in all of Animal Kingdom, as far as we know.
No, we already established this. We already established that people have a conscience. That people, do you not think people have a knowledge of right and wrong?
Well, that comes from general societal understanding.
So, okay, so let's just walk it back. So this is a nurture versus nature. You're saying that it comes from nurture, that the society nurtures that truth into people. All right, so let's go back to the first society. Where did the idea of right and wrong come from in the first society that nurtured down the line to other societies?
Well, what society or what line are you talking about?
I don't care. It doesn't matter. It goes back as far as you want.
Okay, so I think there was just wild out, would do whatever. There wasn't a rule established, or even if there was, it was based on, let's say, if somebody's doing harm to another.
So does the rule arise from within man, right, or is it placed in man randomly by others?
Well, if you look at society as just general, okay, if there's a group of people living somewhere. If somebody harms another person's property, just without religion, without a concept, oh, you got 10 coconuts, I got 7 coconuts. I throw you in the water, and now I got all your coconuts. Next thing you know, they're like, oh, where's the other guy? What happened? Now there's this law being established that you can't just outright off people. So that's just and when it comes to religion, yes, people have made this, okay, this is the law, this is what you got to do.
Do you see what you just said, though? So you said basically this guy, it's not fair, right? So you assume a law of fairness. So you have a moral idea of justice already, of equity.
Yeah, somewhat.
So where did that moral law come from, of an idea of equity, of fairness?
So in a society with no religion, that just comes from our regular observation.
There are none.
If there was a society, that's talking back before the establishment of religion.
Society made of hamsters that could fly spaceships. There's never been any society ever without religion into this time. So let's talk about what is. Let's talk about the facts of reality.
Okay.
Not theoretics.
All right. What is, right? Okay. So now explain the wild jungle. Now explain that to me. Do they have religion? Do they have to follow religion?
People everywhere at all time, anyone that's studied any anthropology, even a base level intro to anthropology, know that every single people are religious. Every single. They all have a sense of right and wrong. They all have a sense that the right and wrong has to be paid for through some sort of sacrifice, right? That's all there. So why?
I was
Where does that
asking
come
you.
from?
I was asking you. I was asking you. Besides a human, in the jungle, in the wild, is there establishment of law? In animal kingdom, is there
with animals? Yeah, there's an order of sorts. There's an order that's established throughout nature. Yeah, I'd be.
Oh, hold on. Where does the order come from?
God.
Order comes from God.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's say I don't know. Let me think of an example. Okay, so when the latest video that I saw, I also talked about it with Caduceus, but that that there was a Komodo dragon, a wild one of those big lizards, right? There was a deer injured, and he just ate through the deer alive. Also, even swallowed the baby that wasn't even born. It went right in throats of that lizard. So where did God step in, or what kind of morality was formed there?
So God made the world in 6 days. On the 6th day, he made man, and made man kind of the royal rulers over creation. Then at some point after the 7th day, man committed sin, right? They rebelled against God, and that brought a sort of disorder into the creation. So what we see is order marred, right? Like say disease and death and sin. So God didn't make the world an imperfect state. He made it in a perfect state. And when man disobeyed, it caused the chaos that we deal now. So that explains some level of those things. But you can also,
besides my animal question, right? How do you know that world was created in 7 days?
because ultimately everyone has to have a final standard. Everyone here right now has an ultimate standard in this conversation.
But that's coming from a biblical standpoint, right? Now, if you listen to science, there was a big bang, but nobody was there to witness it. We just know that this sort of event occurred in history. So how could you say?
Yeah. So science presupposes a world created by God, right? The scientific process. So the Big Bang is because we see the radiation echo in space. That's where that's the main evidence of that. And the fact that we see the universe moving out, but it also seems to be slowing down. So the idea is that it's cooling off. There's a huge explosion of heat, and then it runs out there, right? So scientific method is that you observe some phenomena, you create a hypothesis, that you test that hypothesis. After you test that hypothesis, it becomes a theory if it stands. The theory is not just a guess, but it's like a really, really well
scientific
tested
theory, yeah.
Right. It's
yeah,
like
scientific theory, yeah.
So a lot of times when people say it's just a theory, they don't understand that's the theory that's stood the test of time for a long time.
Well, right? Scientific, like when let's say I make a theory that's different, but scientific theory, I understand what you're talking about.
So, really quick, what I would say is that the scientific method presupposes that logic is a law, right? So you've got the three forms of thought. Right, the law of identity: X is not equal to negative X, or X is equal to X. The law of non-contradiction: X cannot be equal to negative X, and the law of exclusive middle. Right, so those are the basic laws of logic, and so scientific method assumes that those things are true. Now, in a world, you have to explain, where does logic come from? In what world is there these laws that govern thought? That they're not merely a extension of culture, and they're not just part of a natural phenomena. But so logic is true. X will never be equal to negative X, regardless if the Earth explodes or if there's dinosaurs or people. Right? That's a mathematical fact.
Could you repeat that again? What did you say about negative fact?
So X can't be equal to negative X. Apple is never equal to non-apple. So it's a law of non-contradiction. So they're called the 3 laws of thought. So the basic laws of logic: law of identity, law of non-contradiction, law of excluded middle. So scientific method presupposes all those things. Right. And so you have to ask, where does logic come? Well, I'd say logic is an extension of the rational mind of God. God ordered all things, and that's where that comes from. And so what I'd say, explain to me.
So God formed that. God formed logic.
Well, yeah, logic is the extension of God's being. Like God is rational, therefore His creation is rational.
But Michael, there's not a real example of that, right? And is it okay if I kind of be a little blunt with you? I don't want to be mean or anything like that. If that's okay.
No,
I don't want you to hate me after this.
Woody, this so far is pedestrian. Bring it.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. So now you just kind of said that I guess it was because of God that we have logic now.
I would say that God is rational, therefore His creation reflects His being. Therefore, yeah, all of creation is logical.
Okay. But what I'm asking, where's this evidence of God appearing anywhere, or let's say interacting with humans, if that's where it comes from?
The incarnation and resurrection of Jesus Christ would be one way. Another way would be another way to see it is the order in the universe. So you have.
Reincarnation, right? There's people that came back from ending up in morgues. Now, how do you explain that? Do they reincarnate, or how would that work?
You mean someone that died and their heart stopped for a time, and our medical equipment wasn't able to test her?
Yes.
And then the same spirit was in the same body after some period of time.
Yes, and I don't know how long it took, but there's been a lot of events like that. Okay, so they weren't dead. They were declared dead by science.
They were declared dead by people, by our current understandings, which changes all the time. Science is not a monolith, so there's we can't say it's declared dead. Science isn't. You can't personify.
Well, I was talking as of what we know now. I understand it's always changing and evolving. I understand that, but as of what we know now,
they weren't dead in a way that meant that their body was separated from their spirit was separated from the body forever.
See, you claim that, right? But the doctors that did the tests to find that out, they declared it as somebody's dead who actually do that for a living.
That's right. And I would say, on what basis was he dead? Was it that his spirit left his body? They say, oh, no. Right now, we decide he's dead by the heartbeat's been gone this long, the brain waves have been gone this long. And I would say, well, I don't disagree with that. If that's your definition of death, fine. If the definition of death is that the spirit. So it's not that I'm not in my lane. I'm very much in my lane. This is what I do. I'm a pastor. Right. I actually study these things and think about things. I'm not just a YouTube streamer. But those guys, I'm not actually disagreeing with them. Those doctors, I'd say, okay, so we are defining death a little bit different. That he wasn't breathing, and that for some time his body was, that we couldn't see the signs of life there. But clearly he's alive now, and he's the same person he was prior to the trauma that led to him appearing to die.
Right. So where does God come into that? And again, is there a real life, kind of, I guess, basis of science example, or kind of proofs for proving if somebody even has a spirit right now? And I'm not saying they do or do not. I'm just asking you that, okay, this is kind of a similar event that happened to Jesus Christ. He was reincarnated, and similar things happen to people today. Resurrected. Okay. Resurrected, right? So that similar events happening to people even today. Now, how why wouldn't they have, I guess, what would happen to them? How could you explain that? And let's say if you have defining that to me, the spirit is another topic to go to, because we don't have anything tangible right now that could prove spirits. But you say that they still had their spirits, and it came back because of doings of God.
Well, I don't know in the cases of so I think resurrection and and someone appearing to die but actually not being dead, being resuscitated. I don't know that I want to put those in the same category. I don't know that they really do belong in that. I think resurrections where someone's clearly been dead for a long period of time. Jesus, for.
But you can't say that a similar situation happened to Jesus at that time.
It's not the same. It's not the same thing as someone being dead for an hour or two.
But see, like I said, I don't know the timeline of where people came back to life after being declared dead. But what I was kind of pointing at, that you don't think similar thing could happen to Jesus in that timeline. And at that time, I don't know what knowledge of I guess what would be considered dead at that time.
I don't.
What people knew.
He was dead for 3 days. He was whipped on his back with a cat of nine tails, led his entire back to being exposed. He was stabbed through his side. with a spear, and a bunch of water came out,
Okay,
probably because of heart failure.
and then tell Woody, where did he go after he died and came back?
He was somewhere. He was somewhere for a time. And
is the word ascended? Is that the word?
He ascended after he comes back in a resurrected, the same body, but the body had been perfected. He continues to have some of the scars though, because Thomas was able to put his finger into his hand and into his side. Well, let me ask you, what's your justification for being skeptical of spirits and souls, Woody? Everyone's let's go back here. We go back, let's say Darwin. So what's that? Voyage of the Beagle or whatever. It's 1859. So basically, we've got everyone believing in souls and spirits for the majority of existence, human existence. What is it about modern? Well, okay, who's someone that didn't believe in the existence of soul pre-1800?
Well, I mean, somebody living in the Congo that is not aware of religion, I don't think they really think about that. And I'm in the middle. I'm not just saying
ancient Africa as part of my history degree
well,
at NKU.
Right, but they're like spirits, again, that is also part of humans too, that they do end up believing in something. It doesn't have to be Christianity or Islam. They believe in spirits or whatever events that occur. Back when we didn't know about the carbon dioxide gas, in houses or castles, people thought that there was ghostly beings in their houses because of the effect of the gases, which people didn't know about that time.
People today believe the Earth is flat, so like we all have all sorts of crazy thoughts.
And if I get high on ayahuasca, I might see some aliens. Who knows, right? But again, it goes back to that goes back to it. Now, again, you understanding the reincarnation, I think you said of Jesus. Resurrection of Jesus, right? So that happened according to the writings. Writings I think you said by the disciples. That was written after 400 plus years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
It is written within 30 years, where Homer's Iliad was written about 1,000 years later. It only has about 800 manuscripts, where the New Testament has over 6,000 written manuscripts. And we actually have guys like Tacitus and Josephus writing non-Christian historians verifying all the things that were said about Jesus. They weren't believers in him, but they verified the claims that were made about Jesus too. So there's a lot of extra biblical confirmation.
So let's say if we believe in that writing, and let's say if you believe in that, right? Let's say if I don't believe in that, then just like with the UFO event that you were talking about, that it was unidentified, by San Diego, that earlier you talked about this. So let's say if that happened or did not. I wasn't there to witness that. You weren't there to witness that. But let's say going back to that time, even if it was written after a certain time, this is not kind of like a, how do you say, like a legit proof, because when I talked about people coming back to life, this is a similar event. Well, I know you said actually, Jesus, was whipped, and I guess I'm assuming there was a lot of bloodshed, right? Way more than it's supposed to be. Okay, so that is a factor too. I mean, just it's kind of.
Well, here's my testimony to you, Woody, for what it's worth.
Okay.
On a positive note, because I am crashing hard. But look,
no, I understand.
No, you're cool. I think those are all. First off, all the questions you asked were good questions. You're thinking straight. You're asking the right things. So I just want to be really clear.
And like I said, I don't want to. I just like Tony said, I'm open-minded. I don't want to disrespect anybody's. Exactly. I don't want to. You know how you say some people could look at it like for a lot of things I would question. I might get my head by so if I say that in the wrong areas, you know what I mean. So I don't. I can say the same things about my religion too. But
great. No, you're great, man. I don't have any bones to pick with you. I respect the hard questions, and that's why I like.
And I like it too, Foster.
We could come on here, and it can be goofy talk, and we can get real serious for a bit. Here's what I just tell you in a nutshell.
Okay.
Is that I grew up an atheist. I grew up non-Christian. I thought all religions were a matter of tradition. I was pretty familiar with lots of them. My grandmother is Jewish. She came over here after the Holocaust, and she raised me part of my life. My parents were kind of like they said they were Christians, but they never taught us about Jesus, and they never went to church. So it was like, might as well just. And I grew up. My first book I read when I was 10 years old. First novel I read was It. So I grew up on the occult. I grew up on all that stuff.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Dr. Seuss.
No. I wish, man. There's a weird chapter in the end of It. If you've read the book It, you know the chapter I'm talking about. But anyhow,
Okay.
Gross
nonetheless,
one.
yep, really messed up. But so then when I became a Christian, here's how it happened. Here's exactly how it happened. I'll tell you straight up. This big black dude stood up on a stage. He preached the gospel, the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus, making me right with God. And the scales fell off my eyes. I believed the truth, and that was it. I'd like to tell you that there was like this huge amount of research that went into it, but it was the power of the gospel. Actually, life was breathed into me, and I've read and I've thought about things I'd read up to then and I've read after then. But the truth is that God saved me, and man, I'm full with joy. I'm ready to die tonight. I am not scared. I am absolutely ready to die for what I believe in, and I have joy. And I know that God loves me. I have a clean conscience before God, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I would urge everyone to know what I know, which is a joy and clear conscience that comes from being a Christian. It's great.
I agree. That's it's the believing and understand. Yes, you came to this state, and it's great. Actually, you kind of went over a lot of how you were raised. And I definitely appreciate hearing that the believing part and kind of that knowing that feeling or I really never got that, something that would move me or change me. Like you hear about a lot of times that people, feel the God in them, and that's how they came to the understanding. That's where I kind of, get lost, if you could say.
Well, I'll be praying for you, brother. I'll be praying for you, man.
All right. Next time, I wanna talk to you about the jungle, topic next time, whenever I get a chance.
I think what we'll do is I think one day here soon we'll dedicate a stream strictly to Michael Foster and questions. I think it's
definitely
time for that, because I don't think we've done that ever. We can bring on a panel, and
I'm getting ready for my the Manosphere and Religion panel. Me, Tanner, Will Spencer, down at 21. It's gonna be a hoot.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks, Woody. I appreciate it, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, no problem. No, thank you for answering. And hey, look, you're way more well versed than me in a lot of these subjects. And like I said, I made it clear, I'm not no scholar. I'm being participating in the community and stuff. I know knowledge here, there. But I can basically only talk about my observations and what I understand or not. So, but thanks to you too for answering a lot of that. And like I said, I don't want to. Yeah, definitely. So no, thank you. I don't want you to hate me, because some people can get riled up in just asking questions regarding religion like that.
No, Woody, this is one of the reasons why I always appreciate your input.
No, thank you.
You're very genuine when you speak, and you do speak bluntly, and that's what I want here. I don't want things sugar coated, candy coated. Let's just go ahead and talk as men, and that's important. That's why we're
Tony, I spoke to some religious people before too, and it usually doesn't go the way I just had with Michael Foster. You know what I mean? So so that's why I kind of say it offhand. Like, I don't want to, I might say things that might offend you, and Michael Foster say, hey, just let it go, just say whatever. So that's why, but no, I appreciate you and Michael.
Safe place, man. It's Thursday night reality, right?
We're not worried about offending anybody here. That's for sure. So we speak bluntly. We speak what's from your heart and what you're thinking, and that's the most important part about Thursday night reality check. It's a reality check, and regardless of if it's your reality or Michael Foster's reality or John Michael Clark's reality, Caduceus, anybody on the panel, and I know we can say, and I know that there people can say there's not your truths. Okay. I'm not a big fan of that either, but when people are living their lives, that is their truths. Okay. And until somebody changes or sees something different for what they're living, that's their truth. So when we have these discussions, it's important to ask the questions that are blunt, straightforward, and don't be afraid to ask them. Just like Michael Foster would ask questions to anybody else on this panel that are straightforward and blunt. And I would expect the same of anybody else. And the fact that everybody can stand on your square, I think Steve the Dean says that, standing on your square, and standing on your square is important. As a Christian, standing on your square is important. It's very important. And I think I got to give credit to other religions. I don't care if you're Muslim, Buddhist, but people that stand on their square, regardless if they're right or wrong, through the result of Christian faith, it's still a character and a man to stand on your belief system, regardless if we believe it or not. But that's why we're here, so you can talk about it. So, but I'm going to start wrapping it up. I want to go around the panel. Let's start with Caduceus real quick, who hasn't said much because we've had a nice discussion with Michael Foster and Woody. But Caduceus, any final words?
Yeah. Thanks for having me on right here to start with that one. I would say that it's just important to have the values, know what you stand for, and build your life. And when you talk about the truth thing, I think there's one reality, but we all just have little different camera angles, different snapshots, and we can compare notes and figure out what's real and what's fake. And about to add to the religion thing, I just find it interesting in a lot of religious art that Jesus is often depicted having the hand of benediction, which is actually a median neuropathy, which is a common nerve impingement or nerve damage seen with crucifixion. I just thought that was interesting because it's often when he has all the wounds in his post resurrection that he's seen with that nerve palsy in art. So I just thought that was interesting that he's depicted that way.
Yeah, cool. And you guys, I want you guys to check out Caduceus's channel. Caduceus has a channel called The Vital Message, and he's streaming when he can. I know he's on vacation, but check out his stream when he's streaming. His channel is in the description of the video down below, so check that out and subscribe to him. The Vital Message. And Caduceus his streams have been great. So check him out for sure. Definitely do that, you guys, and pass it on. Let's he talks about a lot of medical stuff too on there. So as a dude in medical school, he's very well educated on that whole thing, I guess I would call it. So, but check him out, man, and subscribe to his channel. The Vital Message. I'm getting that correct, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right on. All right, John Michael Clark. Any last words?
I liked being with you guys tonight. Thank you for having me on. This was cool.
Yeah, come back anytime, man. Anything you want to promote, because you can promote whatever you want here.
Just what I was already promoting. And I encourage Woody and anybody else who's like, man, I've heard plenty about Jesus, but I still haven't run into him. I would encourage you to seek him directly, because he will be found by you, and he will make himself known to you. But humble yourself before him as you do it. And when you search for the truth, you'll run smack dab into Jesus.
Excellent. Dylan?
Thanks for having me, man.
Okay. You're welcome back anytime. So is everybody.
Oh, sure. I'll look up when you guys do this. I'll see you next time.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll go to Primal Man. Primal Man?
Yeah, it's good to meet these new fellas. Thanks for bringing them on, Mike. It really is.
Yeah,
good to meet y'all. Y'all take care of yourselves out there. It's crazy.
Absolutely. How about Gonzo? I know you're there somewhere. Maybe you're not. Gonzo, going once? Gonzo going twice?
He's painting somewhere, probably.
Painting Steve the Bean, probably.
Steve the Bean.
He's adding Rosebud into the painting.
Woody, any last word?
I think Gonzo fell asleep. he was like, what the, he said that. But hey, I got to thank you, Tony. Thank you, Michael Foster, for giving the time. I know, he got a family, and, so I definitely appreciate that for giving me the extra time. Definitely, this is, what you call a bro space, bro networking, where people, and like I talked about, bouncing off of questions off of you guys, Michael, he answered me honestly, genuinely, so that's all I want, just the truth, and just knowledge. That's what's important to me. I don't like fake people. I don't like getting into riled up debates, where nobody's really learning or getting to a point. So definitely always a pleasure and an honor, Tony.
And great questions, Woody. I got to be honest.
Thank you.
You guys had me sucked in there for a while. Great questions. And you know why I thought they were great questions? Because they were just raw. There was no filter. It was just raw. This is what I'm thinking. This is what you're going to get. And that's rare. You guys know that's rare in this world. It's
definitely
being straight up. I'm going to ask you this question. There's, like I said, we're not worried about offending anybody. And I'm going to say that nobody gets offended on here. Unless somebody calls me white now, now I've been called white.
Whoa, we need a white boy.
There's that one annoying kid that comes on here that always wants to talk about the name of God. That kid, he gets offended.
You mean Speeder?
I don't know who he is.
I think Speeder had something for you here. Let me stir the pot just a little bit. Let me see if Speeder was still here. Oh, geez, where is he? Yes, Peter, where are you? I know you had a few. You took a few shots.
That's all good. It's all good.
Wait. Here it is. I got to play. There it is.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Peter,
He's
we
right.
love you.
It's right. I am still a Jew in the sense that money and influence seems to come my way. So.
Anything else from Speeder? I'm not sure. I don't see anything, but yeah, he.
I like that you welcome trolls. That's fun.
Well, Speeder's not a troll. He's a regular. He's from Sweden. He's a young dude that's joined us live. And Speeder, you're always welcome on.
I got a question for Foster.
Is this going to be a long question?
No, it's a quick question. It really could be a yes or no question. Did communism originate from Judaism?
It definitely has its roots in wicked people that were Jewish. How about that?
Right.
Okay. One more question. So Woody is definitely going to hell? No.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
Day ain't over yet.
He did. Michael Foster, any last words?
No, it's always good to come on here. The only thing I'll promote from here on out is two things. 21 convention. I'll be down there with you, Tony, here in just a couple weeks. And I got a book coming out from my publisher, Canon. Put a link in here. It's on it's called It's Good to Be a Man. It's a book about masculinity.
Got it in the chat. Good.
So I threw it in there. But yeah, 21 convention. You wanna hook up and meet with some of us? You can come to that. Yeah,
come on to that. You can get your tickets. I have links in the description of the video, but come and check us out. And you'll enjoy it. Come and see Michael Foster. You can see Jesse Lee Peterson. You know them all. They're all going to be there. So.
Elliot's down there. Jay.
A lot of Jay people. Vincent.
Yep.
There's 30 speakers or so. So it's quite a time. So it's men getting together and exchanging ideas is what it is. So it's a great time. I would encourage any man to come to that. October 21st, 21 Summit. And if you got a woman that's out of control, send her to 22 convention. And Michael Foster will whip her into shape.
I said right.
Oh, that's great.
So, but everybody on the panel, everybody in the chat, especially everybody in the chat. I didn't recognize a lot of people. I saw a lot of new faces. Come on back on Thursday nights and look for my special interviews also with different people. So if you haven't seen, I had a great interview last week with Elliot Hulse. Check that out and check me out. Subscribe, like, and share. Do it all. And subscribe to all my friends. I have a friends list down below in the description. Check everybody out. You might not agree with them, but you got to broaden your horizons and check out everything. You got to open your eyes. Everybody does. So anyways, I'm going to end the stream. Much love, honor, and respect to everybody. And we'll see you again next Thursday night on Reality Check. Cheers.
Peace.